Chapter 1. 00. Notes, background information. You are listening at novelfull.audio. First let's begin with the god of creation, Shen Siwang. Shen Siwang is the ruler god of everything. Shen Siwang didn't know how he came to life. All he knew is that when he opened his eyes what welcomed his nothingness. Then he created life. He is the beginning of every life. He created cosmos, galaxies, stars which eventually give birth to worlds, then to living things specified by races like humans, gods, demons, fantasy creatures and more. He just wanted to create something to accompany him. To let his creations progress on its own. He created time. To control and stabilize his creations, he created the essence of living, death, reincarnation and hell. But as time passed, Siwang noticed that none of these were like him. Eventually he got bored. He left everything he started to his creations he called as gods of worlds. In each world he made a god to take the reins of everything in that place. In which results that every world has a god which considers themselves as heavenly laws exist. Shen Siwang, who let his creation progress on his own, was bored. Which is why he created the highest tier world called Verth. Verth is an independent world created by Siwang solely for him to control. This is his little treasure box. In Verth everything Siwang thought of, was poured inside this world. Results. Treasure world. His other creations even considered this a heaven. The world of gods. One day while Siwang was peering in his little treasure box called Verth, he noticed that this treasure world gives birth to a family whose origin is like him. They were created from nothing. They've just appeared out of nowhere and remain inside Verth playing the same roles as his other creations within. Until he noticed a weird child from the said family. This family called themselves Mo. The Mo comes from the word Mogue, which means devil. This is the meaning of their surname. At first Siwang couldn't understand why this Mo family called themselves devils. He continued to monitor them, wanting to know the answers in his head, but even after watching for a very long time this Mo family that appeared out of nowhere remained the same. Playing the roles of his world. The Mo family is composed of only Father Mo, Mother Mo and their 3 children. 2 sons and a youngest sister. Like the other residents of Verth. They took on the roles as gods while acting as humans inside his treasure box. Among them Siwang only took an interest in one. The second son is called Mo Baojun. Mo Baojun is born as a lifetime couch potato. Someone who never leaves the house unless he was carried out. After observing for a while, Siwang knew this child had intelligence beyond others. Sometimes he even thinks that this lazy child is smarter than him and knows more things that he shouldn't know. Siwang was sometimes hit with thoughts that this child knew about his existence. Thus he can only continue observe him. Until that day when Siwang witnessed this scene. The scene of Mo Baojun walking his dog. In the park when walking his guard dog, Bays with him in its back. Little Bays is extremely smart to walk around the vicinity of the park near the house with his youngest young master on his back asleep and returning before sunset. This is a daily occurrence. Everyone in the neighborhood was used to them and watched the master and dog walking around the park with the master sleeping at the back of the huge dog. It was only then when that day someone tried to kidnap Baojun, who was sleeping deeply while on the back of Bays. Surrounded with men holding guns, Bays covered his young master with his body without moving. Kidnapper number 1. Damn dog. Give up the brat. Bays growling angrily. Kidnapped number 2. Don't shoot the dog. The brat is under him. Kidnapper number 1. What do you want me to do? Baojun. So noisy, can't you kidnap me more covertly? Old man god who likes to peep, can you please send this annoying flies away? And Bays doesn't bark. I can't sleep. Sleeping again asterisk, kidnapper. Eyes blinking in shock asterisk, a certain god who heard his word from somewhere. Speechless asterisk, dot bays. Arf, whining but still keep silent asterisk, Baojun. Zzz the certain god named Siwang suddenly starts laughing from the heavens. Siwang. Ha ha ha. Laughing uncontrollably asterisk, interesting let this Shen, play a bit as well. This was their first meeting. After this day Siwang entered Verth to openly stalk this child which eventually led to them being partners for eternity. Mo Baojun became a ruler god of life and death after his own share of world hopping while running away from his stalker creation god. Mo Baojun created a whole realm system which connects and monitors every cosmos and worlds his husband created before. Using Verth as his core, this god system allows deity-rank creatures to complete some task that will eventually help them to increase their cultivation. God systems had subsystems which monitored almost everything from reincarnation, trials and punishment. The Nether system is a subsystem that controls punishments. Deities, demigods, gods and high god who had sinned were thrown here. Unlike the God system which is controlled by point structure and only gives light punishments like decrease in cultivation, the Nether system is not. The Nether system is a trial and punishment platform. Gods who have sinned were thrown inside this place and had their memories sealed. The body they were tasked to enter are those that met everything that fits the prisoner. If the prisoner's sin is murdering one's family, he will have to enter nether worlds where his family will be always murdered. Accumulating memories and emotions without adjustments as long the prisoner completed his tasks without problems. Then as long as the prisoner completed the duration of his sentence without losing his mind or failing his task even once, afterwards he will be allowed to enter reincarnation. Else he could only be erased like he didn't exist at all. The concept of failure isn't allowed in the Nether system. Because failure of a task means execution. The Nether system is created by Mo Baojun's eldest brother, Mou, and his husband. After all they are the god of judgment and god of punishment. Underscore 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 character background, main character, He Anjing origin. Race. Human, title. Sealed, state. Memories, sealed. Unlocked percentage. 5% physique. Sealed, chi. Sealed, cultivation, locked. Current state, human soul, high IQ, initiate, unlocked, hacking. Mastered, unlocked, arts of medicine. Mastered, unlocked, musical talent. Mastered, locked, fighting talent. Mastered, locked, cooking. Mastered, locked, sorcery. Mastered, locked, hypnotism. Mastered, locked, formation. Mastered special abilities. Locked, teleportation, locked, mind control, locked, psychokinesis, locked, resurrection, locked, space attribute, locked, blood attribute, locked, ice attribute. Male lead, name. Origin. Unknown. Nether system race. God title. Nether Lord God, God of punishments disciple state. Memories, missing, soul, fragmented, vessel, slumber, physique. Sealed, chi. Sealed, cultivation, locked. Current state, incomplete soul. Name. Origin. Nether system race. System title. 13th Executioner, He Anjing system physique. Hidden. Using a moon avatar cultivation. Demigod. Name. Origin. Unknown. Nether system race. God title. Nether God, Nether system sub Lord God cultivation. Hi God underscore 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 cultivation stages in birth. Lowest to highest, deity demigod God high God God king mythical God celestial God immortal God overlord immortal, ruler God stage. Shen Siwang and Mo Bao Jun, only two exist. Underscore 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 Mo bloodline Mo Baojuan's family bloodline. Characteristics. Initiate, cold temperament, except for family and loved ones, initiate, high intelligence quotient family-oriented devoted immortality merciless weakness. Can only be harmed/killed by their own bloodline or the one whom they gave their heart to. Chapter 1. 1.0 Prologue. In the system space before the first world you are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey Anjing, a person who is extremely lazy that he dies from excessive sleeping and never wakes up anymore. Waking up in a black space of galaxies and stars. Hey Anjing was hugging a pillow, with no one knew where it came from and placed under his chin. Anjing hazily opened his eyes and rubbed a few times as his sight was still slightly blurring. He looked around his surroundings indifferently and his azure eyes remained emotionless on his beautiful face. Anjing murmured while still half asleep. Hm. Did I die in my sleep? Yawned scanning around the space of stars and galaxies within that endless horizon, Hey Anjing saw that everything around him is a bizarre but was still able to accept it calmly. The aloofness within those eyes gives away calmness and confidence no one could underestimate. His deep blue eyes remained serene but mixed with hints of calculation and amusement. His true emotions were harder to see as there's always a cunning smile in the corner of his lips. It was only when a small looming full moon floated before him that he reacted. Just staring at the floating ball-like creature in front of him. Welcome to the system space, host. I'm System 0013. You can call me the 13th Executioner. The name is Hey Anjing. So did you took over my soul upon my death, Mr. Executioner? Asked Anjing with a sly smirk on his face. Answering to the host. You are not dead yet, but you were captured. With the following required qualifications to clean up world plots as punishment. In short, the host's soul has been kidnapped by the nether system for some unknown reason. Your mission is to kill undeserving heavenly children of each world to avoid the complete destruction of the little stars. With an entertained smile imprinted on his face, so I need to clean up the world's beloved sons and daughters. After that you'll replace them, then reset the world plots when I leave that place. Is that it, Mr. Executioner? Replied Hey Anjing. His answer rendered his little system a bit speechless for a moment. Clearly the short silence from that hovering moon signifies that his conjectures are correct. By the way, I'll just call you EXE for now while I'm still thinking of what kind of name you should be called. His mischievous smile says that he won't accept no for an answer. Yes, host. Please be warned that you cannot kill them without removing their halo first. But aside from that the host is allowed to do almost anything. As long the host is able to destroy the main plot, then whether you kill or just remove their protagonist halo is enough. There would be no point system like in other systems, but the host is only allowed to choose 3 things in the system mall in every world and 1 free skill for each world. There would circumstances which host will be able to receive rewards for some special tasks, but since the host is considered as a prisoner by the nether system there will be no regular rewards or such. Anything regarding special circumstance like there might be other outsiders like me that will enter in that world? Asked Anjing. Answering to the host. Yes, there will be other outsiders, but whether they are the host's enemies or allies will depend on the host, and they can also be eliminated by that world if the host finds them and executes them on the spot. In short, as long as I can kill the world's beloved protagonists, I can do whatever I want, but if I fail, you're going to execute me yourself," replied Anjing as he concluded the whole thing in few sentences. "You are correct, host." An amusing smile appeared on He Anjing's face, as if the concept of failure which equates to death doesn't matter to him. He took a moment of silence while falling deeply within his thoughts and felt that something is wrong with his memories. Except for the fact that he seems to have forgotten his origin and identity, all He Anjing could remember is his name and his abilities, which is also sealed for now. He even doesn't know who brought him here nor where he was before he wakes up. All he remembers is the vague memories of him falling to sleep. There are lots of blank spaces within his memories. He Anjing is someone who was born with high IQ and almost photographic memories, which is why he knew that few of his memories were missing, as there are gaps within. But he is also the type person who loves thrills like mysteries and unknown surprises, which is why he didn't question that floating ball moon hovering before him. Once his memories were thoroughly checked, Anjing raised his head to look at the hovering round creature before him with a mischievous smile, though his eyes remained cold and indifferent. Would the host like to choose his free skill first? I'll decide after I read the world plots. So how can I choose a world? Replied He Anjing as he saw a few small light orbs balls hovering all over him. These small light orbs came over from that endless horizon and seemed to be stars. His system started the explanation for him. Host only needs to reach out towards the star you wanted to and check their world plots. After the host has chosen a star, then this system will bring you over. Currently the host is only able to enter rank F stars. Those 5 small little dimmed stars can be chosen for now. The little moon sways over the 5 little dim stars and brings it over in front of his host to check. He Anjing reached out to each little star to see the world plots. First star. Entertainment world plot. The Sun and Moon twins. The protagonist show is the most loved son between the twins. Loved by anyone and cared for. Brightest and most attractive. The film Emperor, the world's protagonist Gong cared for the protagonist show the most, but he doesn't dare to touch the sun, afraid to taint it, and so he chose to get the moon as the substitute. Second star. Business world plot. The lazy legitimate son and genius illegitimate son. The genius illegitimate son wished to become legitimate and control his own destiny by taking the lazy legitimate son's place and replacing him. Third star. Music world plot. The king who abandoned his wife for his muse. Replacing his love for his desires, the protagonist Gong threw his wife away for his love of music. Fourth star. Modeling world world plot. To be the next supermodel. The protagonist show and protagonist Gong wish to stand together at the peak and become both supermodels. Fifth star. Cooking world plot. Capture the heart through his stomach. A cooking competition to capture the heart of the protagonist Gong. Please choose one among these stars, host. Well then. I choose the first star. Replied Anjing. Chapter 2. 1.1 First small star, the beginning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the system space of Executioner 13. Host, you have chosen the first star. Please choose one skill before entering. I have listed the following available skills. Skill list. Acting, communication, hacking, art of seduction. Please choose one skill, host. After seeing the list, Anjing chuckles, there's even seduction skill there. This list has weird things included inside. Anyway, I choose the acting skill for convenience. Replied Anjing, who received the skill set and learned it through training in a separate space, had to spend few decades to master acting. Host, please prepare for transfer in 10, 9, 5, 2, 1. Transfer complete. He Anjing, who was holding a small star in his hand, was sucked inside upon his system transfer process. It only took a moment for his soul to get transferred from his system space to the body he will have in that chosen star. Once his soul had completely synced with the body of that world's resident, He Anjing took control of his current body. He tried opening his eyes but did it in a languid manner. He is no longer in his soul form but in someone else's body. What welcomes him when he opens his eyes is a man in a suit who seems to be mad. The grumpy man was trying to wake him up. Taking notice of the things inside the room, Anjing realized that they were inside some kind of luxurious hotel room. Ing. Xia Ing. Wake up. A man's voice called to He Anjing. One could hear his irritation just by listening to the tone of the man's voice. He Anjing's current vessel's silvery irises were revealed as if the moon was finally showing itself after being covered in clouds. He just opened his eyes, this what welcomed him. Currently, arranging his clothes in preparation to leave is the grumpy man who was calling his vessel's name. It's obvious from his gesture that he is not willing to wait for him. He Anjing decides to take his time as he observes the man before him. Tall and lean body structure. Slightly handsome appearance and refined features. A face that could be spotted within a crowd. He emits an arrogance of being on top and confidence to bring himself up to the audience. Clearly, this man is a person from entertainment industry. A person suitable to be called a male god. If not for that frown on his face as he looks at He Anjing, his appearance would be almost perfect. Everything is perfect except for those sapphire eyes showing hints of aversion and remorse while looking down on He Anjing, who just woke up and is now seating quietly on the bed. He Anjing's face showed no emotion on his face even when he saw that the man regards with contempt as if he is some kind of bug. He acted like he just woke up but didn't say anything. Remaining silent as he stares back at the man looking at him with annoyance in his eyes. "Exe, who is this person?" asked Anjing to his system through his mind. "Host, this person is this star's protagonist Gong. The current film emperor, Lu Ziyun. We are beyond the time frame where the protagonist Gong had a conversation with Xia Ing wanting to end their relationship. Before host's soul entered the body, the original Xia Ing accepted the breakup without question, but the original Xia Ing asked for one last night to roll in the sheet despite the protagonist Gong's dislike. Which is why the protagonist Gong is looking at Xia Ing with such disgust and regret. What a bastard. He's the one who ate and still has the face to regret. Fuck. No wonder this body aches all over. TSK. Give me this body's memories, EXE. Ordered He Anjing. World plot, Xia Ing. Protagonist show, Xia Yang's older twin brother. He is called the Moon Twin, who is the opposite of the protagonist show, the Sun Twin. These twins were born with different personalities. One is bright while the other one is gloomy. They are both actors who were quite popular because of their contradictory personality, but the protagonist show is more likable by the fans and people of the industry than Xia Ing, who is often misunderstood for being rude for his silent temperament, thinking that he is some emotionless cold-hearted person. Xia Yang, the protagonist show, is not really talented in acting. His acting is only second-rate while his twin brother has greater talent than him. Because of his bright demeanor most people side with him though his acting skills are secondary. Meanwhile Xia Ing is the opposite. He is usually quiet, and his demeanor is silent and often misunderstood by others. So, even if he is talented, the others don't like him that much. Even the current film emperor, Lu Ziyun, is in love with Xia Yang. Afraid of destroying his career, he took Xia Ing as his substitute. Xia Ing originally believed that he was loved by this person, not knowing he is only a substitute until this film emperor asked him to take a scandal for his brother who was found drinking in a gay bar. Believing that the film emperor is there to protect him, Xia Ing accepted the scandal and now hides himself in Lu Ziyun's secret condo, but this person added up another scandal of seducing the film emperor which whole destroyed his career and him ending up taking his own life. This body is Xia Ing. At what event are we? Asked He Anjing. Their conversation is continued in Anjing's mind. Host, you are currently about to be in scandal of seducing the film emperor. But the truth is that you were called into this place by the protagonist Gong to break up with you. You agreed in exchange of one last night with him. The original died in his sleep due to extreme depression. Warning to the host. This place will be crowded with reporters in half an hour. Your task is to fulfill the original host's dream to become the film emperor. That's all. To become the film emperor. Yes, host. That's the only task for this star. Since this star is almost dead. Completing the task will give the host the world's energy to strengthen one's soul as compensation. Upon hearing what his system said, He Anjing just smiled. At this moment He Anjing will be called Xia Ying. The film emperor looks at Xia Ying with a frown when he sees him with a smile out of nowhere. Deep inside his heart, he was stunned. This smile is something he had never seen before, because the person in front of him is well known for being cold as ice. A robot in human form. So, when Lu Ziyun saw his smile for the first time, Lu Ziyun couldn't stop his heart from beating fast. Thump. 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 Even though it was just a small smile full of fatigue, as thought he was just accepting some kind of fate that is not meant for him. That rare but beautiful expression on Xia Ying's face caused the film emperor's heart to beat beyond his control. Lu Ziyun was startled when he saw that smile fade away and turn to pain instead. Then he heard a silent sobbing coming from the man whose one smile took his heart. This cool beauty before him cries for the first time in his presence. His negative affection towards this person couldn't help but to melt. Worry and concern were something he felt towards this person for the first time. A muffled, adorable voice spoke, sorry. I only like Brother Lu, so much. Sob so I will, do what? You. He wants. I will stop, sniff, pestering. Brother Lu can, focus on liking Yang, instead. Xia Ying with tears strolling down endlessly from those silver eyes made his cold demeanor melt to something akin to a delicate crying beauty. He looks so fragile and innocent that anyone who sees his current state makes them feel that they are bullying this little gorgeous fairy before them. Lu Ziyun, as expected, couldn't stop himself from approaching this lovable person. Instantly pulling him into a hug, trying his best to coax him. While doing so, he felt pain within his chest and his heart beating so fast when he saw Xia Ying's crying figure. He looked so weak and fragile, as if being oppressed. The former's cold demeanor faded, revealing innocence of someone who was bullied to the point of tears. For the first time, he lamented that he made this person unhappy. Xia Ying, don't cry. It was brother's fault. I only. Replied Lu Ziyun, who doesn't know what he wishes to say, as he couldn't understand why he feels remorseful seeing the person in his embrace cry. Let go, Brother Lu. Sobs. I don't want this, anymore. You love Yang. I cannot take any more blame in his instead. I only love Brother Lu so much, that I'll do anything for you, but I can't do it anymore. Let's stop this, okay? After all, you broke up with me already. Replied Xia Ying with tears in his eyes as he struggles to break free from those arms wrapped on him. Frightfully tightened his hug on Xia Ying, Lu Ziyun wished to stop the latter's struggles only for that person to cry with so much pain in his arms, and he doesn't know what to do at that moment. Stop crying. Brother's at fault. I will correct everything. Stop crying, Yinger. It was at that moment that the reports trespassed the room, barging inside and taking pictures at the two of them. Which startled the two. The reports asked. Film Emperor, what do you mean by correcting everything? Is that scandal of finding actor Xia Ying at that bar not actor Xia Ying? Are you using Xia Ying to cover up Xia Yang's scandals all this time? Are you gay, Film Emperor? But the Film Emperor couldn't even answer any of their questions. He is hesitating whether to answer with truth or not. He loved Xia Yang so much that he couldn't destroy that person because of a simple mistake, but at the same time he couldn't say anything to push Xia Ying in front to bear sins he never did for the second time. At least this time he doesn't want to do anything to harm Xia Ying anymore. This person is adorably na.ve, and his cold exterior is nothing but a mask. He couldn't decide which one he truly wished to protect, and his heart started to waver. Before he could doubt his feelings, someone else made a decision instead. It was by then that he felt that Xia Ying grabbed his clothes, which made him look at him. This beautiful fairy smiled at him bitterly as if accepting his fate. That painful smile stabbed his heart with immense pain. Lu Ziyun was stunned and dazed at that moment. Then he can only watch Xia Ying leave his arms and whisper a few words only he can hear. "Brother Lu, this will be the last time. I can help you." That soft, gentle voice whispered to his ears like a gentle whisper. Lu Ziyun could only watch Xia Ying walk towards the reporters, accepting all the criticism he had never should have. All those criticisms are caused by Xia Yang, but he chose to let Xia Ying take all the blame. All because of him. Because he wanted to protect Xia Yang, Xia Ying, who loves him with all his heart, decided to protect the person he loves in exchange of his own reputation. With an aggrieved but exquisite smile on his face, Xia Ying faces the reporters. Silence. There is a sudden silence in his presence as if respecting him, but the truth is they are all under trance. This infamous ice prince of the industry is now before them with a smile they had seen for the first time. There are traces of redness in the corner of his eyes. The space under his eyes were swollen from constant crying. His voice muffled and hoarse but gentle to their ears. Then that smile they are seeing, though it was extremely beautiful, they can only feel vast sorrow and agony in it. Xia Ying said, I was really that one in that bar. Bite his lower lips until it bleeds. That scandal, it was really me and not Xia Yang. Lu Ziyun is not gay. It was me who forced him to like me. I am gay, so I'm sorry. He bowed his head in front of the cameras, then looked at the cameraman once more before he took his leave. A single drop of tear fell from his eyes, but that single droplet made everyone feel how much suffering he was enduring. He accepted all condemnation with his mouth, but his eyes betrayed him. His eyes show the determination to protect those he cares for, even if in exchange of it is his own destruction. Those silvery eyes show the truth, but this adorable and na.ve beautiful fairy thought no one will notice. The reporters realized, the audience knows, anyone who sees his current expression ended up with only one conclusion. This person is lying, and he is lying because he wanted to protect someone. Seeing Xia Ying's back getting farther from his line of sight, this man couldn't stop himself from calling that departing figure's name. Inger. Lu Ziyun called, but that person never turned his back. He only saw him flinched once before trembling, but never turned his head back to look at him. The figure of his back shows his disappointment and sorrow as well as his resolution. He even disregards this man whom he used to love the most, endearingly calls for his name. Asked with a slight trembling voice to the people blocking his way, I'm sorry, but please, can you let me pass? Xia Ying left the place under everyone's gentle gaze. They can only let him go because the expression Xia Ying's face is extremely torturing even for them to see. They could only watch as Xia Ying took his leave. Once he disappeared from the venue, the reporters all barge into interviewing Lu Ziyun, the Film Emperor, with ugly expression on their faces. The media aren't fools. The fans aren't blind. They can see that Xia Ying is lying to them to protect someone. If Xia Ying wanted to protect someone from that drug bar scandal, there can only be two people. They already have people in mind, and one of them is just before them. The Film Emperor. Without looking back as he leaves, Xia Ying's sorrowful expression immediately disappeared when he got out of the room. That expression that stunned everyone speechless is nothing but an act. That figure of his as a weak little fragile beauty who modeled a person who is victimized and allowed himself to be used is no more. Xia Ying wanted to control the media and film the emperor's contempt towards him. He tried to cover them up by accepting the film emperor's request to protect Xia Yang from the media, but with his acting he could let the people know the truth and clear his reputation indirectly as well. The expression on Xia Ying's face changes from a delicate crying fairy to a detached gaze, alluring smile, and playful expression. His whole being is covered in indifference and desolation. His atmosphere was cold and emotionless, though his eyes were filled with mirth. The depth of his eyes only showed disdain, as if looking down upon the world. Untainted by worldly possession. Well, isn't that easy? To think the film emperor is only at this level. Xia Ying murmured as he showed his real personality hidden to anyone. This is He Anjing's real personality. A playful, little devil. Only he didn't expect that in the corner of that corridor someone else saw his real face and thought of him having a two-faced personality. The tall man was tremendously captivating, wearing a domineering aura as if a coat. Like a king that rules a nation. His expressions were apathetic, and his gray eyes were observing the figure of Xia Ying with curiosity and glee. This man is none other than the famed emperor who owns the empire. The largest entertainment company in the country. Huangdi, Wang Tian. Although he didn't intend it to hide his presence, this man had witnessed the whole scene from the distance, though accidentally. He just left his reserved suite in the same hotel and didn't expect his company's film emperor, Lu Ziyun, and Ice Prince, Xia Ying's scandal happening before him. To think that the young man who was deemed as the Ice Prince our industry to be a little devil in disguise. His acting talent is even above Lu Ziyun. Is he playing around? Said Secretary Yi, who witnessed the whole thing as he came to do his duty as the president's confidant. You know him? The cold-looking faced president asked. A male secretary wearing a silly smile replied, well, he is an artist under your empire, sir. Is that so? Interesting. Said the president as he walked away after giving the direction, where Xia Ying left with one glance. Before leaving, as if what they had witnessed is a normal occurrence. Xia Ying had no knowledge about him acquiring the interest of someone. That night the film emperor, Lu Ziyun, after fleeing from the flocks of reporters, headed home. To the place he bought for Xia Ying. A condominium that is supposed to be their secret place, but before this event he rarely goes to this place. Only Xia Ying used to live here under his order. Urgency can be felt from his fast-paced footsteps, and the strength he used to open the door is also not that weak. But once he entered the condominium, Lu Ziyun was only welcomed by an empty room. Lu Ziyun, Inger. Inger. Are you home, Inger? He calls, but no one replies. The lights inside were all off. There aren't traces of someone living here, instead few traces of someone who left in a hurry was left behind. Like a fallen towel on the carpeted floor, or that piece of homely cardigan hanging by the coat stand near the hallway. He runs around the place, checking every room of the condo, only to notice that the traces of that person are completely gone. The cup and utensils he used were thrown away. His clothes on the wardrobe are all gone. Even the personal fashion magazines which feature him as the film emperor were left behind. Seeing this empty place, Lu Ziyun tiredly sat on the cold couch within the living room. For the first time he felt that this house was a place that a human cannot live in. Solitude and loneliness can be felt through the silence and emptiness of the place. It's like no one used to live here. Falling deeply in his thoughts, Lu Ziyun remembers the scene from this morning. That person's crying face. ANA.VE but pure smile. His beauty used to be hidden behind that cold demeanor. Only when the ice cracked that Lu Ziyun was able to see that such a silent and cold person was someone who had a warm heart. Loyal to his love and will do anything for his love. But in the end, he was so blind. He used Xia Ying's love for him to protect him. Hurting him countless times until he is completely broken. But it was already too late when he noticed. After all, the kind little fairy had enough and decided to leave him. This scum man who used him as a substitute for another. While wallowing in his sorrow, he heard something fall. The sounds of a glass breaking were heard. Looking through the darkness, he only turned on the lights in the living room looking for the thing that had fallen. Only then he saw that a picture frame fell from the shelf, which was almost empty. Fragments of broken glass were scattered on the floor. Picking it up, he saw that it was his and Xia Ying's photo. A photo Xia Ying begged him to take. He is wearing a cold and annoyed look on the picture, but he could see that on the photo that Xia Ying was looking at him affectionately as if he was the lone person he loves in the world, and the smile he wears is doting as if he didn't even mind that Lu Ziyun is angry on the photo. Seeing such a photo, Lu Ziyun remembered this scene. At that time it was supposed to be Xia Ying's birthday, but at the same time that day is also Xia Yang's birthday as well. Xia Ying begged him to take one photo with him before he could leave to spend Xia Yang's birthday together. Even forgetting the fact that on that day is also Xia Ying's birthday. Xia Ying didn't stop him from leaving to go to where Xia Yang is. His only wish is to take one photo with him as his birthday gift. Lu Ziyun annoyedly agreed and let him take one photo. But Lu Ziyun remembered that he left right away after that one photo. There is not even a retake, but he remembered, that one photo made Xia Ying happy, but he was so preoccupied with Xia Yang's on his mind and left Xia Ying without a second thought. Now that he recalls that he had never spent birthdays with Xia Ying as he was twins with Xia Yang his moonlight, he always spends birthday with the sun twin. Completely forgetting about this moon twin who stayed by his side because he loves him the most. Looking back at this, Lu Ziyun felt his heart ache in regret and guilt. Only when that one person who used to revolve on you alone suddenly disappeared will be the only time you will know what you have lost. Humans tend to overlook things that are closer to them than those which are away from them. They will only realize its importance once it is completely gone. Lu Ziyun hugged that photo close to his chest as he tried to control his tears from falling. "Inger, I'm sorry," he murmured, but no one else but him could hear it. For the first in his life, this film emperor felt what it was like to be alone for the first time. On the other hand, Xia Ying got his system, Executioner 13, to prepare him a new place to live. All his requests were fulfilled, including the fact his house security is even stronger than those used by the government of this world. He lives alone, which is why he brought a simple by high technology to this world to fulfill his needs. He wanted to have a housekeeper since he is lazy, but he is not willing to let strangers inside his house, which is why he asked his system to let him bring over a technology from a futuristic world. An automated housekeeper and cleaner. Of course, all materials were bought through his system. He doesn't want others to be shocked by such technology, and he needed another legit way to use his money from his own wallet. Which is why he ordered his system to buy a failing company and used it as a cover to where his almost endless money comes from. He was watching the scene inside the condominium of the film emperor through the system's special access. Everything was within his control. He even asked his system to let that picture frame fall to let the protagonist Gong realize what kind of person the original Xia Ying is. Xia Ying is a blind man. He blinded himself just to filter what his sight could perceive. He can only see the times when Lu Ziyun gives his love to him as a substitute. He turned a blind eye for everything else. He loved Lu Ziyun like a madman, but despite that he is not willing to harm his love. He let the other person use him in exchange for his time and fake affection. That's how desperate this Xia Ying is for someone to love him. Xia Ying was a timid man in love. He loves the person but didn't dare to show his love openly. He just gave away his love in secret, but in the end, even if he tried to only see the good side of love, the clearer the ugly side is to his eyes. He fell into depression and anxiety struck his heart at every second. Lu Ziyun suddenly breaking up with him is the last straw that broke his sanity. He died in his sleep and He Anjing was able to take over his vessel. Looking at the monitor only to see the scum protagonist Gong's guilt-ridden self. Xia Ying's eyes remained unsympathetic and detached. Only that smirk by the corner of his lips showed his emotions, though whether that is true is not, no one else knows. Truly a slag man. Chapter 3 1.2 First small star, Xia Ying. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Truly a slag man. Xia Ying's only comment upon seeing how idiotic this star's protagonist Gong could be. Easily getting moved by one single acting. Host, those reporters who caught you at the hotel this morning were threatened to keep quiet about what happened. I've also recorded that scene. Does the host wish for me to spread it? For now, forget about it. Keep it until then. Said Xia Ying. Since there's no one else in the house except for Xia Ying and his system, they converse normally and not through the mind this time. Yes. Host. With regards to the scandal where he and the film emperor were caught in a hotel, the news about it seems to have been withheld. It was the work of Empire Entertainment, or the film emperor's contract is under as well. Among the Sun.Moon twins, only Xia Ying is under the Empire as well, while Xia Yang was from a second-rate entertainment company called Silver Entertainment. As Xia Yang wasn't able to fulfill the requirements to be able to enter the Empire. His talents were average after all, except for his face. Watching the slag Gong's current depressed state entertained Xia Ying, but not much. He was munching on some snacks while watching the live stream of both protagonists. On the other scene, he could see Xia Yang acting like a queen during work. Scolding the make-up artist and staffs randomly without any legitimate reasons. Meanwhile, he and the film emperor were demanded to rest for 2 days until everything was cleared up. Currently, Xia Ying is watching a movie in his living room when his phone rings. It was from his agent saying that he received a few jobs for him. Xia Ying answered the phone. Yes, Xia Ying speaking. Prince. I've accepted 2 jobs for you. One is an advertisement for a male perfume, and one is an audition for a second lead minor villain, Xue Jing of Horror Tales. It's a horror movie. I understand. Which goes first? The first one is the audition. I will send you the script and movie background. The location is at Silver Entertainment. Please come over tomorrow at 9 a.m. Do you wish for me to send you an assistant to drive you over, Prince? No need. I will drive alone. Please send me the script and thank you, sir. Xia Ying's politeness over the phone made his agent speechless. He, as his agent, knew about the scandal between him, the film emperor and his son twin, Xia Yang. The truth, his agent pitied this timid little prince of his. He knew that this cold-looking young man is nothing but a shy little one. Wen Lin, his agent, could only keep a silent stand when someone is scolding him for being cold, when in truth the child only doesn't know how to express what he wanted to say. He also knows that this young man is in love with the film emperor, but everyone in their circle knew that the one the film emperor fancied is none other than his twin brother, Xia Yang. He also knew what happened in the hotel that day. He was one among the staffs that was ordered to talk to those reporters not to spread the news. Prince. I know it is not my position to say this, but you should forget about the film emperor. He likes Xia Yang. You know that, right? With your talent you can have anyone who likes you instead of that slag man. Just forget about him, okay? I will listen to you. Wen.ge. Xia Ying acted as if he was heartbroken through the tone of his voice, when in reality his face is as cold as ice. Sigh. Don't drive tomorrow. Wen.ge will accompany you for the whole day instead. Okay. Really? I'll wait for you. Wen.ge. I will send my new place address. I've left his place. Good. Wen.ge will treat you some milk tea tomorrow. Rest now, our dear prince. I will register Wen.ge to the security database. Just scan your handprint over the entrance. Hey. What do you mean? Click. Once the call ended, Xia Ying checked the details of his job for tomorrow. He first checked his advertisement job. The perfume is a new type of scent. It's a quite feminine scent type of perfume. A perfume made from cosmos flowers. It was said the cosmos flower had a mild scent of floral but enticing aftermath. It is rare for a male perfume to be made this way. Which is why they wanted someone with handsome and cool beauty to endorse this type of perfume. They had chosen Xia Ying because of his cool and silent temperament that was known in the entertainment circle. Seeing this, Xia Ying had no problem as he likes the scent of floral but not those extremely sweet kind. His other job is an audition for a horror movie, Horror Tale. The movie is about a connected horror story. This is a school-based horror movie. The female lead, Xue Luli, and male lead, Fu Lian, were schoolmates. One evening their class decided to do some ghost-related activities. They went to their school abandoned building to do some ghost hunting for fun. The one who took the lead is none other than Fu Lian. Xue Luli was not willing to go with them in the beginning as her little brother, younger than her, was interested in things like this. Her younger brother is still too young and the event had unknown danger in it. She really doesn't want to bring her brother with her, but the little brother forced his sister to go ahead and join the fun, asking her to bring him with her. The name of the younger brother is Xue Jing. During the ghost hunting event, students suddenly started disappearing one by one, scaring the others. Those who were able to safely go home were extremely afraid, but those who were gone were not found. Then creepy situations like someone seeing ghosts or self-mutilations started happening in school. Endless unexplainable horror even took place one by one, scaring those who went to that haunted building, though they were the ones at fault. In the end, with the male lead successfully convincing the other students who were still alive that time, to return to the said building to look for answers. They've played Pen Fairy and ask what is happening. The protagonists then learn the history of the haunted building. The abandoned building used to be an old school building formed above a former graveyard. This building was abandoned for endless unexplainable incidents that happened in this place. Suicides, murder, missing children and more. Most of these cases were recorded in the land's police office as cold cases. In the end, the building was baptized and sealed by an exorcist. It just so happened that the seal broke when this group of bear children went inside to go do some ghost hunting event. In the end, the movie showed how the female and male lead worked together to solve the problem. Of course, in exchange for countless lives. Before the rest of those still alive escape from that endless horror, and when they've thought everything ended, they didn't know that among them one is a ghost king that played as a human for entertainment. It was Xue Jing. Xue Jing hypnotized the female lead thinking that she has a younger brother when she is an only child. Everything was in control of this ghost king whose wish is to watch their foolishness in the midst of danger. In the end, the ghost king, Xue Jing, said he would let them go if one of the leads remained to entertain him. He asked Xue Luli and Fu Lian which among the two is willing to stay with him in exchange for the others' lives. The pair of lovers aren't willing to leave each other and begged the ghost king, but before he could get an answer, the exorcist arrived and saved the children from the ghost king. Once the exorcist arrives on the scene, they've learned that what the children summoned is not the ghost king before them but another powerful demon. This demon was the one who took children and killed them for their blood and flesh to nourish his soul. All this time the ghost king called Xue Jing was the one aiding them and helping them keep their lives. This ghost king was just a kind soul tortured by the devil and was imprisoned within the school. Because he is extremely beautiful, the devil keeps him alive as a bait for those food, humans. On the other hand, Xue Jing keeps his soul from fading for only one reason. He was waiting for someone to return. It was a promise from hundreds of years ago. A promise of eternal love. He was waiting for his other half's reincarnation to take him away. The reincarnation of his love is none other than the exorcist who called himself Lin Xia. Lin Xia was reincarnated for 100 times looking for him as well. He was able to keep his past memories as a practitioner of soul. At this time Lin Xia has been looking for his love. Which is why he worked as an exorcist despite being an immortal cultivator. This is to fulfill his vow to the heavens and to his love, Xue Jing. But when he found him, Xue Jing's soul was already fully tainted with evil qi. He must kill the devil and gain the merit that will allow him to enter reincarnation. Xue Jing and Lin Xia worked together to kill the devil, but in the end Xue Ling disappeared completely. The female and male lead thought that this lover's ending will be a sad one until one day they meet that familiar beautiful young man. That similar-looking phoenix-shaped eyes and silver eyes that had the same shade of the moon. Like a moon fairy, he and his love finally met once again, this time to stay together. Once he finished reading the script, Xia Ying immediately got interested. This kind of scheming and playful character matches his personality a lot. He knew that he would enjoy that audition for tomorrow. Xia Ying was humming once he put down the script on the table in front of him as he continued watching the movie before him. He is excited for his audition tomorrow. Chapter 4. 1.3 First Small Star, Film King and Queen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Morning. 7:30 a.m. Xia Ying's place. Xia Ying, who was supposed to have work at 9 a.m., is currently in his bed sleeping so peacefully as if no one could wake him up. His agent, the one he calls Brother Wen, full name Wen Lin, drove over to his address and was stunned to see his new place. The mansion of his little prince was unexpectedly bought within one of the most expensive districts in the city. A single mansion worth a few millions, especially for a customized one like the one in front of him. Wen Lin didn't expect that his little ice prince was someone who is extremely wealthy. But thinking how many years this little prince lived in that condominium that the film emperor bought under his name and was given to Xia Ying, he could understand why. This little prince has never been one to spend his money on anything except food. Moreover, this little ice prince is already a first-rate actor who is only missing the film emperor title, but because of his secret relationship with the current film emperor, this little prince of theirs never took jobs noteworthy of his talents. Xia Ying would never take jobs that are beyond the level of his younger twin brother, Xia Yang. They've thought he is doing such a thing because he wanted to hinder the latter, but thinking about it, this NAVE little prince would never have thought of such a thing. He is doing so because he wanted to pull up this scheming brother of his, using his own reputation as a stepping stone. Now that the little prince had broken any relationship with the film emperor, Wen Lin is now able to bring him jobs that are suitable for his level. Being a second male lead is suitable for his level as a first-rate artist. If not for his ugly reputation, being a male lead is not a problem at all. Wen Lin tried to knock on the gates of the mansion only to hear a monotonous voice telling him to voice his name. Please speak your name for verification. A mechanical voice heard from the mansion's gates after Wen Lin knocked. What? Exclaimed Wen Lin in confusion. Please speak your name for verification. Wen Lin. Verification completed. Agent Wen of the house owner. Please put your hand over the scanner for security verification. A palm-sized hand scanner appeared on the door. Dumbfounded, Wen Lin followed the instruction and put his palm over it. It only took a few seconds for the scanner to finish his verification. Scan complete. Identity verified. The gate before him opened by itself. Please enter the gates. The master is still asleep. Please wake him up, Agent Wen. Stunned for a moment, Wen Lin entered the mansion feeling bewildered. This is the first time he witnessed such advanced security, with high technology as this one. Once he entered the mansion, he learned that aside from Xia Ying there is no one who lives in such a huge place except for humanoid droids who work as housekeepers and cleaners. Wen Lin was shocked to see such a rare thing that he only saw in movies and television. But the one in front of him is really the expensive humanoid droid butler that the famous Wonderland company is selling. A limited edition humanoid droid. He was nodding that such security is indeed needed for this little prince. Once he found the master's bedroom, he saw that the little prince was still sleeping peacefully. He gently wakes him up while the housekeeper prepares his master's change of clothes, prepares the bath, and makes breakfast. This was his scheduled routine. Wen Lin spoke, "Prince. Wake up already. You'll be late for work, Prince." Wen.ge, what time is it?" asked Xia Ying, who languidly woke up. "It's already 8. You only have half an hour to prepare. I can bring you to the audition location within half an hour. Go. I will wait for you in the living room," said Wen Lin. Xia Ying stood up and went straight to the bathroom to clean himself while Wen Lin waited for him in the living room, passing the time as he drinks coffee. He also looked around such a high-tech house with curiosity in his eyes. After Xia Ying finished his preparation, Wen Lin drove their little prince, who is currently munching cupcakes, in the car. This is something their boss told him to bring to Xia Ying for comfort. Those who worked with Xia Ying knew that he loves eating sweets the most. Despite his cold demeanor, he is a well-known foodie. Wen Lin passed him a water bottle. "Drink water. Don't choke. We'll be there in a moment." Silver Entertainment. This is where the location for the audition of Xue Jing will take place. This is the company where the Sun twin, Xia Yang, is under contract. Once they arrived at the venue, Wen Lin asked Xia Ying to wait in the lounge while he looked for the exact room where the audition will take place. They arrived 15 minutes earlier because there is no traffic on the way. Wen Lin passed Xia Ying the box of cupcakes and the thermos he brought for him, after letting his little prince take a seat at the couch in the open lounge. "Prince will wait here for a while. Wen.ge will ask around which room will be the audition," said Wen Lin as he pats the little prince's head, who is focusing himself from eating his cupcakes like there is no one's around. Once Wen Lin left, Xia Ying still continued eating in silence. Even ignoring the clamoring females and males in the distance, giggling while they took his photos without his permission. Though as an artist this kind of event is something normal for him. Wow, look at that beautiful child. He's so adorable. Look at him nibbles on those cupcakes. It looks delicious. Isn't he the Ice Prince of the Empire? The Ice Prince? You sure? He looks so cute to be called Ice Prince. No, that is definitely him. But I've never thought of this adorable prince off cam. Xia Ying ignored the clamor around him as he continued to nibble on his cupcakes. There are so many flavors that he wished to taste everything, which is why he tried to eat fast to taste everything. Good thing that the cupcakes were bite-size and there are 3 pieces each flavor. There are 5 flavors: strawberry, chocolate, blueberry, pistachio, and white cheese. He is now eating white cheese after strawberry. Xia Ying was so focused at his food that he didn't realize that 2 people suddenly took a seat on both his sides as his full attention was on his cupcakes. The 2 who sat beside him were artists that worked under the same company as his, the Empire. The royal pair who were called King and Queen in the Empire. They were titled artists whose skills were only second to the film emperor, Lu Ziyan. Actually, if not for Lu Ziyan's protagonist Halo, his talents would fail parallel to this couple. Their names were Hu Tian and Fei Lan, the pair who were chosen as the male and female leads of horror tales which Xia Ying is about to audition. They recognized Xia Ying. They knew of his bad reputation, believing it until they saw him nibble on cupcakes without care for the audience at this moment. In their eyes they saw Xia Ying as an adorable rabbit nibbling on his cupcakes. Silent and cute. As if he lives in a different world than others. They could also see that he had a presence that was tightly hidden within that silent temperament. Xia Ying emits confidence of someone who is always a winner and elegance to never care of those outside his sight. A demeanor of a lord. Seeing him, they knew that this Ice Prince is never a simple opponent. They sat beside him wanting to observe him closer. But despite that, the former didn't even raise his head and just focus on eating. Fei Lan thoughts as she looked at the adorable baby eating cupcakes, are those really delicious? He looks so happy eating it. Her eyes couldn't help to wonder inside the box placed on Xia Ying's lap. seeing those cupcakes placed beautifully inside the box like gems. Fei Lan even heard his boyfriend, Hu Tian, gulp loudly on the other side of Xia Ying. The couple looked at each other and knew they were both allured by the cupcakes in the box, but the little prince just finished a cupcake on his hand and was about to take another in the box only to feel two heated gazes on him. Looking for the source of the gaze, Xia Ying was stunned for a moment. Two pairs of pleading eyes were intently staring at him and his cupcakes, startling him out of nowhere. Xia Ying spoke to his system in his mind, E.exe, who are these two? God. Surprised me badly. According to the world's database, they were just mob characters. Both were artists under the empire like you do. Their talents were only even second to the protagonist Gong, the current film emperor. If not for his halo, the emperor title would be given to one of them. They were a couple who are about to be married. In the movie the host is about to audition, these two were the pair of main leads. Xia Ying acted as if he flinched once he finally noticed the couple besides him. Why are they looking at me like that? Though his instinctive gesture of trying to hide his food didn't escape the eyes of the couple. Seeing his adorable reaction, the couple couldn't help but smile. They wanted to ask you for cupcakes, but they were your seniors and strangers, which is why they couldn't speak to ask you for some. Xia Ying stared at the couple blinking innocently until he heard a silent grumbling sound. The two blushed immediately in embarrassment. That sound was coming from their stomachs. The sounds of hunger. Xia Ying, even against his will, offered his cupcakes to them. Wanting to share. Do you want some? There's strawberry, blueberry, chocolate, white cheese, and pistachio, said Xia Ying. The couple could see the little prince pouting but still shared some of his precious snacks to them. The pair looked at each other and grinned as they took a few cupcakes to tease the boy. They took 3 each and watched the little prince's eyes watered as if they bullied him while staring at the remaining cupcakes inside his box. His reaction shows that the couple took too much and left him too little. Seeing his teary expression, the couple couldn't help but laugh as they pinched Xia Ying's cheeks. Fei Lan said smiling, "Little baby, we're only teasing you. Don't cry, big sis is wrong, okay?" She returned 2 cupcakes in the box except for a strawberry one. Hu Lian did the same thing and took only chocolate while patting the pouting child's head. "Big bro will treat you to lunch with big sis there later. Eat with us, okay?" Seeing his cupcakes returned, Xia Ying's eyes start to sparkle as he stares at the couple who was kind enough to return his snacks to him. "Little cutie. You're the ice prince, Xia Ying, right? They were lying when they said you were a cold person," said Fei Lan while munching on the strawberry cupcake in her hand. "I'm Xia Ying, big sister and big brother. Who are you? Are you from here?" asked Xia Ying. Fei Lan and Hu Tian looked at Xia Ying in surprise. They couldn't believe how this innocent bunny survived in their industry. If not because they notice him acting, they could have fallen to his adorable act. Fei Lan smiled and pinched his cheek, stretching it. "Little baby, stop acting. Big sis know you recognized us," said Fei Lan. Hu Tian said, "There is no need to act towards us. We are not that blind man, Lu Ziyun, after all." Knowing that these two noticed that his acting was adorable and decided to act normal. Okay. Stop stretching. I still have to audition later. Lon.jia, ow. Tian.ge, save me, said Xia Ying as he tried to pry the hands on his cheeks but unable to. Hu Tian and Fei Lan weren't surprised to see him talking at them without fear. His aura is enough to say that he has enough confidence to act this way towards them. This kind of assurance, they've only felt it towards their empire's big boss, Wang Tian. That demon emperor. Xia Ying is finally freed when Fei Lan hears him call her Jia. She took another cupcake from the box, a chocolate one. Okay, forgiven. Ah Jia, I haven't tasted that yet. Gu already ate the first one. Woo-woo, complained Xia Ying. Fei Lan hesitated for a moment and split the cupcake to two and put the half to Xia Ying's mouth while the rest to her mouth. These cupcakes seem to be homemade. Did you make it, Bao Bei, mean little baby? Asked Fei Lan. With his mouth full, Xia Ying couldn't reply and just shook his head. Beside him, Hu Tian took the pistachio cupcake for next while listening to their conversation. Didn't make it. Someone gave it to you. Didi, younger brother, don't eat things from strangers. That's dangerous. Said Hu Tian as he stiffed for a moment, but remembering that he just finished the second cupcake and felt nothing wrong, that the dessert must be clean. WEN.GE, my agent gave it to me. They said from the HR department. A gift for comfort. They said I'm heartbroken. Replied Xia Ying as he took a blueberry cupcake this time. Gu, I don't eat pistachio, you can eat the second one. Jie, try the white cheese, it's delicious. The two took the respective offered cupcakes without restraint. They felt they could get along well. Well, the three of them seemed to share a common thing. They love sweets and food. A creature called foodie. Baby, Bao Bei, leave that slag man. He is not for you. Jie will look for a good man for you instead. Said Fei Lan while eating white cheese cupcakes. Your Jie, elder sister, is right. Younger brother, Didi, listen to her. Said Hu Tian. Xia Ying looked at the empty box on his lap and placed it at the table before them. Before taking his thermos bottle and uncapped it to use it as a cup. Inside the thermos is hot milk tea his agent, Wei Lin, prepared for him. Fei Lan smelled the scent of hot milk tea and got attracted to it. Bao Bei, let me taste that too. Said Fei Lan as she watched the former finish the first cup of milk tea and gave her the next cup. Be careful, Jie. It's hot. Replied Xia Ying to the excited lady on his right. Then he looked on his left and said, do you want hot milk tea too? Asked Xia Ying while looking at the kind big brother on his left, while on his right a playful big sister is carefully savoring the hot milk tea with a smile. Sure. Your Jie and I skipped breakfast, so we're a bit hungry. Your agent prepared that hot tea too? Asked Hu Tian. WEN.GE rarely accompany me to work because he's busy. I usually go alone. But today WEN.GE freed his schedule to accompany me. Must be because they felt they've wronged me when the company ordered to withhold the reporters for that scandal in the hotel where I and Lu.GE. I mean the film Emperor was caught by the media with me. Said Xia Ying as if he wasn't the one who was wronged. Fei Lan and Hu Tian frowned when they heard what their little brother, Xia Ying, said. They understand that the company is trying to save Lu Ziyun's image as he is the film emperor, but in this case it is unfair for Xia Ying as his reputation is bad as it is. The circle knew that Lu Ziyun was in love with Xia Yang instead of Xia Ying. But they also know that Lu Ziyun is in a relationship with Xia Ying, using him as a substitute. Asian, this is unfair. I don't like this. Complained Fei Lan. Hu Tian has a serious expression on his face too. Calm down, Lanner. Leave it to me. I'll talk to my cousin about this. I'm okay though. Said Xia Ying. No, you're not. The couple retorted. Leave it to Asian. If the company doesn't do anything, I would do it. Hump. Said Fei Lan. Leave it to me, Didi. Gu will clear your name. Said Hu Tian as he slowly sipped the sweet hot milk tea from Xia Ying. Fei Lan and Hu Tian for some reason ended up doting Xia Ying. They got close because of cupcakes and hot milk. Their personalities just clicked well. These couples intended to treat Xia Ying as their precious little brother. Fei Lan remembered something about Xia Ying saying about the audition. I heard you saying audition. Are you here to audition for Xue Jing of Horror Tales, Bao Bei? On WEN.GE left to look for the audition room. said Xia Ying. No need to worry. We'll bring you over. Go and take the role so you could act with us, said Fei Lan as she pulled his arm to bring him to the room. Behind them, Hu Tian called for Wen Lin, who was staying at the corner ever since he arrived. Wen Lin had returned faster than Xia Ying thought, but seeing him seated with Fei Lan and Hu Tian, Wen Lin decided to wait in the corner and only approached the group when they decided to leave the lounge. Hu Tian gestured for him to follow as they walked behind the two in lead. Chapter 5. 1.4 First Small Star. Audition for Xue Jing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Behind them, Hu Tian saw Wen Lin coming over from the side and approached him to take the thermos on his hand. The truth is that Wen Lin returned earlier but was unable to approach their little prince because the royal couple was with him. He was surprised to see their little prince getting along with Hu Tian and Fei Lan. Both were veteran artistes who is said to have held the title of king and queen in their youth. That is until Lu Ziyun overtook them both. Moreover, Hu Tian is the empire's owner's cousin. In short, he is one of the bosses within the empire. There is no way a mere agent like Wen Lin could approach the royal couple. He only did when Hu Tian gestured to him to come over while his wife pulled the little one ahead of them. You have to tell me everything you know about Yingying's relationship with that Lu. Anyway, who ordered you guys to withhold the reporters about what happened in that hotel? Said Hu Tian. I doubt its assistant director sir. He is a huge fan of Lu Ziyun, which is why he is not willing to dirty his name. He made the orders thinking that the higher-ups won't think of a mere first-rate artist like the little prince, so they replied Wen Lin. Hearing the reason, Hu Tian frowned. I will report this to the higher-ups. Especially to my brother. Yingying has the potential to be a film emperor, more so than Lu Ziyun. You've noticed, don't you? Yingying's aura changed. It means he is no longer willing to be put down by Lu Ziyun. He will act seriously from now on. Make sure to get a bodyguard and personal assistant for Yingying. If something happens to him, I and Lan'er will not forgive you or your department. Said Hu Tian. Yes, sir. I will definitely inform the rest. Replied respectfully by Wen Lin. On the other hand, his heart is in chaos. He would never expected that their little prince would be able to get the adornment of the royal couple on their first meeting. The royal couple might be quite young, but both are influential people. The queen is one of the shareholders of the empire. She has the right to make decisions for some artists if she wishes to. Hu Tian is also a shareholder, but they didn't fear him because of that. They feared him because they knew that the CEO of the empire, Wang Tian, was his cousin. If he said a word, the emperor of the empire would only need one word to end a person's career in the whole entertainment world. After all, only the famed empire's Huangdi held the reins for all endings of artists. If he likes you, then you will soar. If he hates you, then you will disappear. There is nothing in the entertainment world he couldn't land a finger on. Audition room. Fei Lan entered the room pulling the arm of Xia Ying, who felt like he was some kind of baggage, having a lady who was able to pull him as he was almost hanging in the air. He could even see Hu Tian and his agent, Wen Lin, staring at them with a small smile on their faces. Upon entering the room, they were welcomed by countless pairs of eyes on them. A group of it came from the side of the other artists who came for the audition, while a small group of it came from the table of judges. From the side of those who came for the audition, a familiar face is found. Someone who shares the same face as Xia Ying but with brighter aura around him. The protagonist show, Xia Yang. Of course, Xia Ying paid no attention to his glare. Xia Ying now retained his cold face, unlike his free expression when speaking with Hu Tian and Fei Lan. Seeing that Xia Ying's smile disappeared as soon as they entered the audition room made Fei Lan unhappy. She started poking Xia Ying's soft cheeks gently in a doting manner. Fei Lan, our Baobei, what happened? Your smile disappeared. Tell Jijie what's wrong. Xia Ying just stared at the crowd, ignoring the queen who was poking his cheeks. His expression remained cold as if it cannot be moved at all. Seeing this, Hu Tian understood his reason and didn't ask him why. He just treated him the same as before, patting his head gently as he held his girlfriend's hand and stopped her from poking their little brother's face. Hu Tian smiled at him. Do as you wish, Didi. Xia Ying nodded his head. Only then this Fei Lan remembered that there are other people around them, which is why her little baby brother returned to being a block of ice. Fei Lan hugged him. Jie will wait for you to finish. You've promised to eat lunch with us, right? Bao Bei. Xia Ying nodded his head at her request as well. After they've split, Xia Ying joins the group of artistes who will audition, while the royal pair joined the group of judges, as they were the leads of the movie, Horror Tale. The director for the movie, named Du, started his speech. Beside him, the empire's emperor, Wang Tian, is seated like an emperor overseeing his subjects, but his eyes wander on Xia Ying the longest as he feels that the latter is intentionally ignoring him. This action annoyed him. Director Du spoke. Ahem. Before we begin the audition, I'm sure that everyone here has read the script for Shui Jing. According to the script, the characters consist of 2 main leads and 2 support leads. The main leads were already decided. For the position of Shui Luli, Ms. Fei Lan. For the male lead, Fu Yan, would be Sir Hu Tian, and for the exorcist, one of the supporting leads. It was chosen to be acted by Sire here, Sir Wang Tian. Wang Tian looked around the artistes seated from the other side, but none of them dared to meet his gaze. They've all blushed before lowering their heads the moment Wang Tian's gaze lands on them. Xia Yang is not much different from others in this case. Well, his reaction is the greatest. After blushing brightly red as a tomato, he started fidgeting like a foolish fangirl. When his and Xia Ying's eyes met, both frowned at the same time as they landed a hand on their chest in bewilderment. They've averted their eyes after a short moment of meeting, leading the area to a much more silent one. Even the royal couple felt bewildered by this exchange. They knew that these two had only met today. There is no way for them to hate each other yet, since they were strangers. There is even no way Xia Ying would approach Wang Tian. Not only he doesn't care about strangers, he wouldn't waste his time getting others' attention. He's this eccentric. Like when he didn't notice their stares while eating his cupcakes until he finished one. Exe, who is this man? Asked Xia Ying to his system in his mind. Host, that's this star's main antagonist, the villain and emperor of Empire Corporation, Wang Tian. Could you check if this man is an outsider? Asked Xia Ying to his system. Please wait for a moment. Host, I've checked, he is the original main villain and a resident of this world. Is something a problem, host? Nothing. I just felt weird just now, replied Xia Ying as he looked at his chest before putting down his hand and calmed himself down. Hearing that reply from his system, Xia Ying couldn't help but frown in silence while secretly peeking at that captivating face of this world's villain. Without him knowing that this man had been observing his little actions, making the latter's lips pulled up, slightly upturned, but it was only for a moment. Wang Tian felt interested in someone for the first time. He could sense the meaning of the gaze coming from Xia Ying. It was unlike the usual stares of seduction or greed. His eyes remained cold, but for some unknown reason there are hints of confusion and irritation within those silver eyes. Sir Wang Tian, are you all right? Asked by one of the judges when they saw Wang Tian suddenly halted, putting down his hand nonchalantly. Nothing. You may continue, replied Wang Tian. Hearing this, the director restarted his speech. As you see, the role of Shui Jing is the counterpart who will act with Sir Wang as partner. If there are some of you who aren't confident for this position, you may now take your leave. Once the director said that most of the artists who came for the audition left. They knew their level of talent. There is no way they could act with a veteran artist like Wang Tian. Not only that, they weren't willing to offend the emperor for being overconfident with their skills. Those who left were third and second-rate artists and some of first-rate artists who were not fully confident they could act with Wang Tian as his partner in the movie. The only third-rate actor that remained is Xia Yang. The people who are leaving were giving him a sneer for being stupid. Even the director looked ugly when he saw that Xia Yang remained. He is a director who originally works with Silver Entertainment. He knew what level of acting Xia Yang had. To explain it in simple words, it is crude. In a sentence, not even worth explaining. Director Du couldn't believe that Xia Yang's meager talent is enough to act as Xue Jing. On the other hand, his elder twin brother is perfect for it. A cold demeanor who could adjust his face in any expression he needs to portray as long as the camera is rolling. This is the kind of potential he wishes to get. If not for the latter's blackened reputation, he would have pulled the latter without even undergoing any audition. This audition is just for show. Director Du's real intention is to get Xia Ying for the role of Xue Jing. After the others left the room, those who remained can be counted in one hand. To be exact, including Xia Ying and Xia Yang, there are only 5 artists left for the audition. Most of them were first-rate actors and only Xia Yang is a third-rate artiste. Seeing this, the director couldn't help but look at Xia Yang. Director Du, Xia Yang. Do you really think you can act for the position of Xue Jing? His expressions were serious and there's an evident frown on his old face. Xia Yang flinched when he heard his name. Why yes I can, do it. He replied while stuttering. Just speaking to me, the director, made you stutter. What would you do when you acted with Sire Wang? Said the director as he banged his hand on the table. Startling Xia Yang. Bam! Wang Tian moved his eyes and looked at Xia Yang with indifference in his eyes. You are not worthy of Xue Jing. He said straightforwardly without mincing his words. Your acting talent is average. Even lesser than a normal artist in my empire. You don't deserve to be Xue Jing. Leave the room. Said Wang Tian. The authority in his voice is evident. There's even hints of disgust in his tone. The emperor's words were true, straight to the point without any sugar to coat it. It was even more bitter than coffee and much more hurtful than being stabbed. Xia Yang's eyes teared when he heard Wang Tian's words. He stood up, covering his face as he ran away towards the door of the room. Before he could open the door to leave, Xia Ying spoke for him. Xia Ying did it intentionally. There are no apparent changes on his cold face, but those who knew him can see mirth within those dull silver orbs. Wait. I know my brother's talent isn't enough. But the confidence he had made him think so otherwise. I would like to ask Director Du and Sire want to give him one chance to audition. Once Xia Ying's words were heard, silence engulfs within the room. Silence. The other person's eyes moved from Xia Ying's to Wang Tian's. Xia Ying and Wang Tian stared at each other's eyes. They've stared at each other without averting at all. It even took a minute, as if they've ignored other people's presence in the room. Wang Tian could see the playfulness from within Xia Ying's eyes. Seeing that, he knew that this little devil wanted to toy with his twin brother. It's just that this little devil's face remained cold as usual. Unmoved by anything or by everything. His interest sparked much more than when they've accidentally met each other's eyes. Looking through Xia Ying's eyes, he could see what kind of personality he had. Playful and cruel. Someone who matches his appetite too badly. As much that he wanted to kidnap this playful little devil and bring him home. A smile appeared on the corner of Wang Tian's eyes before it disappeared when his gaze moved from Xia Ying to Xia Yang. Very well. Those who wish to get the role of Xue Jing would have to act with me for it. Said Wang Tian as he left his chair. Chapter 6. 1.5 First Small Star, Lin Xia and Xue Jing. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Audition room for Horror Tales role. Xue Jing. Lin Xia, Exorcist, played by Wang Tian. Wang Tian stood from his chair and walked towards the center. His expression changes as much as the atmosphere that surrounds him. Lin Xia, the exorcist in the movie, is an ascetic man whose face is forever cold. The only thing that could gauge his emotion is through his eyes, and the only person who could move his emotion is only Xue Jing. Wang Tian stood straight at the center as a rod, but they could see his elegance just but standing still. His face is emotionless, and his atmosphere is aloof, heavy, and uncomfortable. When his unsympathetic eyes move around the room looking at the 5 people remaining that will audition as Xue Jing, Wang Tian's emotionless eyes stared down on all 5 of them. At that moment, they could feel the overbearing pressure that fell on them, making those inside the room unable to breathe properly. This is especially true for those artists who are auditioning as Xue Jing. To pass as Xue Jing, they must be able to move the Lin Xia before them. The 4 among them stood straight as they tried to look straight at Wang Tian, but they couldn't hide their legs from trembling. Xia Yang is especially worse. He lost the strength on his legs and fell seated on the floor. Seeing their reactions, Wang Tian already failed the 4 artists who stood up to bear his pressure. They have forgotten Xue Jing's core personality and they weren't able to portray it properly. Xue Jing is a fierce ghost who ruled all the ghostly creatures as their king. There is no way a mortal's presence will be able to move him at all. Moreover, he is a playful one. Xue Jing would just choose to ignore such a creature, much less a human. Wang Tian was about to get out of his character until he heard a tiny sound of a wood lightly hitting something. He looked around to see Xia Ying holding his phone lazily as if he forgotten to grip it on his hand tightly. Allowing it to fall on the armrest of his chair with a sound, Xia Ying never stood up to face his overbearing aura. He just stayed seated on his chair and relaxed as if there wasn't anything wrong at all. As if he couldn't feel the pressure Lin Xia is giving as an exorcist. Xia Ying's eyes portrays only 2 emotions on his eyes: tiredness and loneliness. This is Xue Jing's remaining emotions after spending his life as a ghost king. Other than those 2 emotions, there is nothing but emptiness in his gaze. Nothing at all. Like a lifeless doll that was living for one sole purpose. It just so happened that even that sole purpose was hidden deeply within those lonesome eyes. Xia Ying looked at Wang Tian languidly, but the latter could feel that his gaze passed his whole being like he didn't exist at all. When he met his silver eyes, a playful smile appeared on his face, making his already slight feminine appearance much more alluring than it's supposed to be. Xia Ying's tone changed as well. There's a hint of coldness at the same time mischievousness. Are you here for those toys, humans? Exorcist. The playful smile of his face remained, though the depth of his eyes remained even much colder than Wang Tian's indifferent eyes. Wang Tian continued his act as Lin Xia. A ghost king. How many humans have you killed? His voice turned sharp and colder at each word. He stared at Wang Tian for a moment before he spoke. But this king, don't remember. Maybe a lot, replied Xia Ying, but his smile even turned more playful and sweeter, as if taunting the exorcist before him. Wang Tian stared at him for a long minute, then his eyes suddenly widened as if seeing something that shocked him but at the same time familiar. He walked hurriedly towards Xia Ying, even though his poise remained elegant and dignified as if he was walking on air. Wang Tian suddenly grabbed Xia Ying's wrist, pulling him up closer to see his face. He stared at Xia Ying's face, observing his appearance even more closely as if analyzing his appearance. All of the sudden they've noticed Wang Tian's lips slightly tremble as he opens and closes it but is unable to utter a word. As if he saw a proof of his guesses being approved, Wang Tian pulled Xia Ying towards him, putting him within his embrace, hugging him as if he saw the last hope in his life. Everyone thought Xia Ying's character as Xue Jing would be broken by the sudden intimate gesture Wang Tian made, but they were wrong. Xia Ying was able to remain in character. Though he was being hugged tightly within Wang Tian's arms, they could still see his carefree attitude. He even put both his elbows on Wang Tian's shoulder and leaned his weight totally on the latter. Not even putting the one carrying him in his eyes. He played his role as Xue Jing as a playful little ghost king. He lazily wrapped his arms around Wang Tian's neck and there's almost no distance between their faces. They looked at each other's eyes but the mischievous smile on Xia Ying's face widened. Xia Ying then spoke, "Now who are you seeing in this king?" Human exorcist, but they could see a huge grin on his exquisite face though the depth of his eyes remained cold and unmoved. But this time there's a hint of madness and insanity within. It was by then that Director Du slammed his hand on the table and excitedly said, "Okay, cut. Xia Ying, you are amazing." "This old man is amazed," exclaimed Director Du. Everyone looked at him once he said that. The two who got in character immediately returned to their usual expression of coldness and indifference as if something came out of them. But despite that, Wang Tian isn't willing to remove his arms around Xia Ying's slender waist. A frown appeared on Xia Ying's face and Wang Tian could see his irritation within those dull silver eyes expressing, "Let go." He chose to ignore it and gave Xia Ying a taunting smile. His expressions were clear enough saying that, "I don't want to." Before Xia Ying could no longer hold back his anger, enough to break his cold fa. Wang Tian felt a sharp pain on his side which made him let go of Xia Ying. It was Fei Lan's doing. She pinched his side ruthlessly without fear. Fei Lan exclaimed, "Let go of our Bao Bei. Cousin. In law. Hiss. Tian controls your woman," said Wang Tian, who unwelcomely let go of Xia Ying. Asked worriedly by Hu Tian, "Are you alright, Didi?" Xia Ying only nodded his head once and gave Wang Tian a glare before averting his eyes. Hu Tian hid Xia Ying from his elder cousin. "Please think of your age, cousin. Do you want to get sued for harassment?" said the King of Silver Screen to the Huangdi of the Empire. "N. Xia Ying age is only 20. He cannot be even called an adult yet. In this world, boys can only be considered adults at the age of 21. It was within the character of Lin Xia to lose it when he realized that the one in front of him is indeed Xue Jing. Retorted Wang Tian as he raised his brow at Hu Tian, "I was only portraying Lin Xia's character." What is amazing is that he was able to portray Xue Jing even more perfectly than what old Du expected. Director Du excitedly hovers around Xia Ying like a bee but prevents himself from touching him. According to the character of Hu Tian and Fei Lan, there is no way they would treat someone amiably unless they've truly liked someone. Xia Ying just happened to be someone these two respected ones adores. Director Du looked at Xia Ying as if seeing a diamond. "Xia Ying. No, I will call you Ying. Ying, you are so talented. Watching that scene made me see a real living Lin Xia and Xue Jing. The position of Xue Jing is yours. It can only be yours. Congratulations." This old director said as he shook Xia Ying's hand with both of his. "Old Du, let go of our Bao Bei." "Really you guys," said Fei Lan, who pulled Xia Ying by his arms to the side with Hu Tian. "Protecting the two like a hen protecting her eggs. Alan, don't be like this. Let this old man speak with Xue Jing more," said Director Du. "No. We're going to eat out for lunch," said Fei Lan as he pulled Xia Ying and Hu Tian out of the room, ignoring everyone else. Hu Tian gave out a helpless smile while Xia Ying waved his hand childishly as if a playful child pulled away by his mother to eat after playing around too much and forgot to eat. Wang Tian's eyes lingered longer at Xia Ying's leaving figure. Until he completely left his line of sight, before returning to his usual cold self. "I'm going as well," said Wang Tian to the old director and walked away without even waiting for the old man to reply. Wang Tian on his way brought his phone out and contacted his secretary. As for what his orders are, no one really knows. Director Du was used to Wang Tian's indifference to others. So he didn't say anything of farewell to the busy young man. Instead he looked at the rest of the artists who failed the audition. As you have seen, Ying was perfect for the role of Xue Jing. You guys did your finest, but this opportunity just happened to be not for you. Don't be sad because of this setback. Continue doing your best. You may go now," said Director Du. The other artists. Hearing that the other artists left the place, only Xia Yang's expression showed ugliness beyond his normal appearance. He was thinking that his elder twin brother had stolen Xue Jing's role from him and he hated him for that. He left the room in angry strides while the other people looked at him like he had problems in the head. Director Du even frowned seeing Xia Yang's reaction. This child is really unprofessional. How could he have been made as an actor of this company? Seeing that his little prince had been taken by the royal couple, Wen Lin, as Xia Ying's agent, stayed to do his job as the prince's agent. He remained to talk to Director Du about his prince's contract for this movie. Wen Lin spoke. "Excuse me, Director Du, I would like to talk about Xia Ying's contract for the role of Xue Jing." Once the director spotted Wen Lin, who is Xia Ying's agent, he happily grabbed the man and pulled him into his office to talk about Xia Ying's contract for the movie. Because he is perfect for the role and Xue Jing is one of the most attractive characters in the movie, Director Du increases the talent fee he will give to Xia Ying. He talked about Xia Ying's schedule with his agent and only happily let go of the man when he got Xia Ying's work number. Hu Tian and Fei Lan happily freed Xia Ying after he gave them his personal number. Of course, he knew this two-doting couple would try to clear up his name. In the end he needed to confess that he wanted to solve the scandal and that he would clear it himself in the future. Only when a promise to ask their help was made that the couple let him go. Wei Lin happily fetched him and brought him back to the company for his advertisement job. The location of his next work is in his company. The Empire. Wen Lin was happily humming the whole time on their way to the building. He didn't give Xia Ying's endless praise, just a single congratulation is enough. The original Xia Ying is a shy person. Wen Lin as a professional agent knew that he couldn't continuously praise their little prince in fear of giving him anxiety. Wen Lin escorted him to the stage where the advertisement would take place. On their way, Wen Lin spoke. "Prince, the director for the advertisement said that there are some changes in the script. You were asked to pose for a few photos with another artist. They've said that it will become a short advertisement video instead. They've also changed the content of your contract. The result is much bigger than the former offer. So I agree to it." "Who is the other person?" asked Xia Ying. "They didn't say who, but the last-minute change was already done. I was told that your partner for the shoot is already at the venue," replied Wen Lin. On the other hand, Xia Ying's eyes squinted as if he knew that someone forced the advertisement team of his second job to suddenly make changes at the last minute. There is only mirth and coldness within those silver orbs. Chapter 7. 1.6 First Small Star, Advertisement Video. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Empire Entertainment Company. Wen Lin accompanied his little prince to the venue of his second job. Upon arriving in the room where the advertisement will take place, they've seen all the staff in the venue including the director all standing up in silence. After observing them for a few more seconds, Wen Lin noticed that they were all wearing nervously expressions on their faces. Some veterans like the director and assistants were still okay. They only took a silent stand, but the ordinary staff like the cameraman, makeup artists and others were trembling unconsciously with their heads lowered, unable to lift it up for some reason. Looking at the only man's seat at the center, Xia Ying understood the reason for this weird atmosphere. It was because of that man. Wang Tian. The owner and CEO of Empire. He is even a well-known director who has said that most of his works, especially movies, had received endless titles and praises from all over the world. Thought directing is his hobby and could only make a few at sporadic schedules. When he's bored he even does some photo shoots and acts as an actor in the other director's works. Horror Tale is one of these few movies he chose to act in, but he had never worked with amateur artists. This is why Hu Tian and Fei Lan were chosen as leads for Horror Tale. Normally this arrogant man wouldn't lower himself to work with artists who weren't well known like Xia Ying, but for some reason he even made changes to make sure he could work with Xia Ying in this advertisement for perfume. The name of the perfume they would endorse is called Everlasting. It was changed at the last minute. In the first place, the perfume that Xia Ying is supposed to advertise is called Beauty. He only needs to make sure that in the short video, he would be the most beautiful person, which will attract customers to buy the product. He only needs to act alone. Since the plan was changed, he was given a partner, adding the meaning of cosmos and the name of the perfume. Xia Ying needed to act like lovers in love with his partner. After all, in the language of flowers, cosmos means beauty, order, peace, modesty, and wholeness, but in a romantic side, it carries the meaning as it tells your partner that the two of you will walk together through life. Hand in hand. An everlasting love. Once Wang Tian saw him, this supposed to be a cold man wearing an indulging smile on his face. Wang Tian spoke, "You're finally here." Of course, as Xia Ying expected, his agent, Wen Lin, wasn't informed about who his partner was. This agent of his must have thought that his little prince would only need to shoot a short video with a first or second-rate artist like their little prince. Wang Tian, the big boss of their company, suddenly appearing here shocked him to his core that he froze. Wen Lin murmured while stuttering, "BB boss." Then he froze standing. Xia Ying's cold temperament didn't even change when he saw Wang Tian, but his eyes showed a short glint of interest and mirth. He likes it when others play short games like this. He is the type that hates boredom and likes destructive things the most. Meeting a man in this boring world that will give him entertainment makes him happy. But at the same time, he is not willing to lose easily towards the other man. Xia Ying decided to take this playing longer, as he felt the protagonist of this world seems to be a bit easy for him to play with. After all, it only took one acting for the slag gong to move his emotions from the scheming show to himself. Xia Ying was planning to return right away to the system space as soon as he finished his tasks. After all, he thought that there would be nothing in this small world that could give him entertainment. But now something made him happy. He found someone that might entertain him. Though he needed to test it more as to whether wasting time towards this man will give him enough entertainment that will make him stay in this world. Xia Ying spoke, "Why are you here?" he said to Wang Tian, but others could feel caution within his tone. But Wang Tian is something else within those silver orbs. Wang Tian noticed that this little devil was willing to play with him. He could read much as he stared within those silver irises of his, which sometimes sparkles when he sees something interesting. He knew that the little devil noticed the meaning of his gestures. After all, he is a man that stood in peak, appearing in an advertisement to shoot a mere video that lasts for a few seconds is weird enough. He knows that he is doing this to take Xia Ying's attention. And Xia Ying knows that as well. Which is why this playful little devil is willing to play around with him. It all started at their first meeting. When he saw Xia Ying that day in that hotel, this man's figure started to haunt his dreams for no reason. At first he didn't care, meeting him in that audition room was the last straw. When their eyes met for the first time, Wang Tian felt that this man should be his. He should capture him before he escapes. He couldn't understand why he thought of that. But it gave him a weird feeling that this man should be his and his alone. No one else is allowed to have him. No one can. Only him could do so. Wang Tian doesn't understand where this obsession came from. But he knew that this Xia Ying isn't the original Xia Ying who first came to his company to work in. The former Xia Ying is a boring, blinded by love and stupidly love-struck man. That Xia Ying is so stupid that Lu Ziyun could openly use him as his former Bai Yu Guang substitute. A/N, White Moonlight, Bai Yu Guang. A person, crush/love interest, you can only gaze upon but actually cannot have. But that Xia Ying in that hotel is different. Everything is different. Not only his personality. His aura and the atmosphere around him completely change. This Xia Ying is good at wearing the original Xia Ying's cold mask, but behind that mask is a playful little devil. Those silver eyes that used to only show a martyr lover to his love are gone. Now within those irises with the shade of moonlight, only indifference for everything that didn't interest him and arrogance of looking down even towards the heavens itself, is present. A mischievous devil who could decide life and death with a blink of an eye. This is the Xia Ying before him now. For someone like him who had everything in this world to his hand, Xia Ying is like an oasis that will ease his boredom and emptiness. He is that tiny spark of hope in darkness. Someone that appeared for him to capture. Like a mischievous fairy jumping around him, teasing his awareness. Taking on all of his attention. Only then he knew that he had been waiting for this person to appear in this life. This man was his. Wang Tian's smile widened as he approached Xia Ying and held his hands. Me. I came here to shoot the advertisement video with you. I'm your partner, the only one. He then looked straight within those silver eyes which now shows apparent mirth and interest. Is that so? Replied coldly Xia Ying, but his eyes showed different emotions. The two stared at each other's eyes, leaving those around him stunned and bewildered. They were shocked to see their arrogant emperor acting like that to someone. Much less they've never expected for Xia Ying, who is supposed to be a subordinate, showed no fear with someone like Wang Tian, who is supposed to be his boss, suddenly grabbing his hand and flirting so openly towards him. But for some reason they felt that they were being spoon-fed by an annoying food called dog food. A/N, dog food. This neologism refers to the self-pity of single people, humorously dubbed single dogs, triggered by the public displays of affection by couples online or offline. Within the crowd only the eldest noticed that between Wang Tian and Xia Ying is a relationship that hasn't been solidified yet. This old director noticed that instead of love, the thing between these two is only playing but slightly interested in each other. Though he also knew that this kind of playing always ended in one thing, he didn't stop others from thinking ambiguously. Then he could only make a ground for these two to play around freely. Remembering that these two are about to shoot for a perfume advertisement with the meaning of everlasting love, then he must make sure they would play the roles of sticky lovers instead. Upon making his decision, the director begun his plan. Clap *cough OK. Before we begin, let me explain the new script to the artists. Sire Wang. Xia Ying. Please come over. After the director explained the new script to the two, Wang Tian's smile widens. Obviously, he likes the changes in the script. Beside him the old direction sighed in relief while Xia Ying looked at them, both of them like watching a play but staring at them with an entertained smile. He seems to not care about the content of the new script. Xia Ying said to Wang Tian, "Are you happy with the script?" "I am. Because I can get hugs and kisses," replied Wang Tian without any shame. "Good. Be happy now. Next time you broke into my jobs without a reasonable purpose, I'm going to ignore you," said Xia Ying as he walked away. Hearing that he'll be ignored next time he abused his authority, Wang Tian could only follow Xia Ying to coax him. "Ah. Wait. Let's talk, Inger," said Wang Tian while going after his beloved. The old director was a bit surprised with the sudden change in personality of Xia Ying, but thinking how he got Wang Tian's attention means that his cold demeanor from before seems to be an act and that this was his real personality. With this, Xia Ying's sudden changes would be easily accepted by other people, especially towards those in director level and above. The shoot for the advertisement was done before the sun completely set. As for the contents of the shoot, it will be shown as soon as it finished editing. The company of the perfume was extremely satisfied with the result, and within just 3 days the advertisement which showed Wang Tian and Xia Ying spread in all monitors locally and internationally. The short video was playing on the monitor. The first scene is the meeting between Wang Tian and Xia Ying. Xia Ying accidentally fell from the stairs when he got out of balance. The one who saved him is Wang Tian. With Xia Ying, whose eyes were close waiting for the pain of the fall, was caught within Wang Tian's arms. Wang Tian smells a mellow fragrance of flora and mint. Wang Tian's inner words, This scent, where have I smelled it before? Envied, he unconsciously got closer to Xia Ying, trying to get closer to that fragrance that took his attention. At the same time, Xia Ying slowly opened his eyes to be welcomed with Wang Tian's face getting closer. His exquisite beautiful face showed coldness and his cheeks showed a blush while his calmness was completely gone. He pushed Wang Tian's face with both his hands, and he struggled to get down. Seeing that Wang Tian could only let him down, but he saw his cerise appearance. Xia Ying's original coolness is gone. He could only see his bright red cheeks and eyes a bit teary, looking like an adorable bullied beauty. Xia Ying exclaimed while stuttering, pervert. Then he ran away, leaving Wang Tian stunned. Ha ha ha! Taking a short moment before Wang Tian, laughter resounded in the hallway, making Xia Ying run even faster. A scene cut took place. This time Wang Tian is walking outside the school building thinking about something when he passes through a garden field with cosmos flowers. He grabbed one unconsciously. Thinking this scent is familiar from Xia Ying's scent, made him wonder if the little one got it from here. He put the strand of flower in his clothes front pocket. He entered the garden, walking around only to be welcomed by the beautiful scenery of Xia Ying sleeping defenseless between the bushes of white cosmos flowers. He looked like a sleeping fairy with his smooth-looking white skin. His short blonde glitters under the sunlight, giving him a sacred aura as if he is some kind of angel that had fallen on earth. His long eyelashes flutter like butterfly wings as wind touches his face. Wang Tian felt his breath was taken away and he couldn't help by getting closer and closer. Until their lips touched. After stealing one kiss, Wang Tian felt embarrassed with himself. He wanted to run away but feels that it's bad to leave the little one there only to get cold. He carried him to the infirmary as there were no teachers inside, so he tucked him properly in bed. Staring at that beautiful face for a few short seconds and then remembering the cosmos flower on his chest. He smiled while looking at it and put it on Xia Ying's hand before leaving him to sleep peacefully. After a while Xia Ying woke up and was bewildered with the cosmos flower in his hand. Seeing that he was inside the infirmary made him think that someone brought him here, thinking that he fainted. For some reason Xia Ying smiles while looking at the cosmos flower in hands. Afterward, scenes of Xia Ying receiving cosmos flowers every day but unable to catch the one who left a cosmos flower on his desk every time cycled. He tried asking his classmates whom it came from, but all he received as an answer was a knowing smile that made him angry. In the end he decided to catch the man. One afternoon after class he pretended to sleep on his desk. As he expected, a set of footsteps slowly approached him. For some reason he smelled the scent of flowers coming for that pair of footsteps. He knows this smell very well. It was the scent of cosmos which he received every day. Once he felt a hand reaching out closer to him as well as that familiar scent, he grabbed it and caught the wrist of that person who always gifts him flowers. Once he opened his eyes he was welcomed by the captivating handsome face of Wang Tian. He looked stunned for a moment as he stared at him, then looked at the flower near him. It was the same white cosmos flower. Wang Tian took back his hand together with the flower on his hand. He averted his eyes while taking peeks on Xia Ying's face. Xia Ying on the other hand stared at him solely, making him embarrassed. There's a short silence between them. That cosmos flower. Are you the one who gifts it to me? Asked Xia Ying. Wang Tian answered, yes. Why? Asked Xia Ying. Wang Tian, it has the same scent as you. Name. Wang Tian. Xia Ying. Then silence once again. Xia Ying looked at the flower on his hand and then on Wang Tian's handsome face. Do you, like me? That I love you? Replied Wang Tian, but this time he didn't avert his eyes but stared straight at those pair of silver eyes. Such a pure and straight gaze. Xia Ying couldn't help but blushed, being given a stare with eyes full of adoration and love. This time it was Xia Ying who reached out his hand towards him, slightly confusing the man of his gesture. "Give it to me. That flower, it's mine, right?" said Xia Ying. Wang Tian gave him a helpless smile. He was intending to meet Xia Ying's hands to give him the flower, only to see a slender white jade-like hand grab his tie and pull him over, which made him almost fall on Xia Ying. Good thing that he was able to stop his momentum as he stretched both his arms, preventing him from falling on Xia Ying. But this action of his made him cage Xia Ying between his arms. The distance between his and Xia Ying's face is just a few centimeters. Their eyes met and he could feel Xia Ying's breath on his face. It only took a while for him to fall in trance. Seeing that he is not doing anything, Xia Ying reached out his hand and hugged his neck. Xia Ying whispered, "Since you gave me gifts every day, how about receiving me as yours?" There's a daunting but playful smile on Xia Ying's beautiful face. Being teased by his love, Wang Tian knew that Xia Ying gave him an answer to his confession. He gave him his love in exchange for his love. Then they've shared a long and passionate kiss. The scene was cut once again. This time Xia Ying is seated in front of a mirror and a table. On the table is a perfume called Everlasting that they are to endorse. The small bottle is a translucent black bottle. The only design on it is an embodied white flower cosmos. Xia Ying was looking at it with gentle eyes as he placed a bouquet of cosmos flowers beside it. He is wearing a pure white suit, making him look like a prince. All of a sudden, Wang Tian, who was wearing a pure black suit, hugged him from behind, putting his head on the crooks of his neck. Intaking the familiar scent of cosmos. Xia Ying put his hand over Wang Tian's hand, which was placed on his waist. There's a pampering smile on his face, Asian. He calls softly. It's time, Inger," said Wang Tian as he moved his head and saw the small bottle of perfume. Seeing it, he couldn't help but smile as well. He knew that his beloved made a perfume out of those cosmos flowers he preserved from the gifts he gave him during their whole life. Even when they were in a relationship, Wang Tian never forgot to give a stack of cosmos flowers to declare his love every day. In the end, his love was not willing to watch it wilt and made it into a perfume. He called this perfume Everlasting. That small bottle is the only proof of the love between them, and now, it will last until the end of their lives. He held his future wife's hand, pulling him to that future where they will love each other forever. The scene is their marriage. Now their love will be eternal. An everlasting love. The video was cut short, but as soon as this video was played, those who saw it couldn't help but stop to watch. In the end, the advertisement was perfect, and the perfume was a big hit. The first day the perfume was on shelves, it was made out of stock the very same day. Xia Ying's reputation was highlighted because of this event. He and Wang Tian become the hottest search online, but there are still some netizens that blacken Xia Ying's reputation because of the scandal of him, Lu Ziyun and Xia Yang. But his new fans choose to believe in him. In the end, the result is that there's a big fight, with one side protecting Xia Ying and the other dissing him. Of course, Wang Tian saw this as well. His face darkens at such a scene. Behind him, Secretary Yi is waiting for his orders patiently, like he was used to it. Secretary Yi already knew that he would have to clean up the media companies after seeing this. After all, he knew that their big boss had long fallen for Xia Ying. There is no way this emperor will just watch his love being thrown with mud. After all, this emperor had long started courting the little prince, sending gifts at every moment he could. Wang Tian ordered, "Clean this up. Moreover, make sure to fire those who dared to withhold that news of what happened in that hotel. Have someone clean up Inger's name. Tell all those companies that they have to do everything to clear up my future wife's name. Anyone who dares not to follow, eliminate them." "As you wish, Huangdi." Secretary Yi accepted the orders without question. When the night news goes out, The news of what happened in that hotel was aired. Especially Xia Ying's interview. Secretary Yi controlled the media well by making sure that Xia Ying would look like the victim in the middle of the slag couple. The third-rate actor, Xia Yang, and the film emperor, Lu Ziyun. Chapter 8. 1.7 First small star, slag couple. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As what Xia Ying expected, the outcome from his acting ended the way he wanted it to. Almost everyone who has seen that live interview leans on his side. That Xia Ying isn't really a cold-hearted person but a timid, na.ve little prince. His fans skyrocketed in just a few days, passing through the level of a few millions ahead of Xia Yang. Most people dissed Xia Yang for being a faker, who uses his own brother to cover up his dirt. Even the film emperor was criticized for siding with Xia Yang instead of Xia Ying, who gave up almost everything for him. Although some of their loyal fans say that Xia Ying is fanning for comfort by fake acting, wanting to blame their male gods, but Xia Ying's fans all stood up to fight them, which ended up in a huge fight online. In Xia Yang's condo, he broke most things after seeing the news that defamed him. He especially hated his twin elder brother for that live interview, and when the film emperor didn't clear up things, he hated him too. After breaking most things in his room, the frightened agent that looks after him finally approached him. Xia Yang has the same light blonde hair but duller shade than Xia Ying's, plus a pair of golden irises. Damn it. Why did that stupid brother of mine said such things? Is he making those damn media and fans realize the truth? Said Xia Yang in his anger. Please calm down. Didn't the film emperor say to leave it to him? Replied his agent. Hearing this, Xia Yang calmed down a bit. Did Yun.Gij say anything? He asked. Yesterday, the film emperor said to leave it to him. For now, ignore the news, just focus on the audition at Scarlet Heaven scheduled 3 months from now. Answered his agent. Same evening. In Xia Ying's little villa in Restricted District, the most luxurious district in the city. He is now in his room laying on his stomach. In front of him are 3 huge hanging monitors that could retract itself by command. It was a high technology he invented from his original world. He also made a company that focuses on programming cars that didn't need drivers, as well as automated cleaning machines that cleans the whole house at voice command. The name of his company is Wonderland. His little villa is highly secured as he is the only one who lives there. He leaves the cleaning to his automated cleaning machine as he didn't wish to live with someone stranger. Much more to have someone come over to clean his house. He also bought some satellites to see his little twin brother and his former ex's live streams. At the moment he was watching his twin brother throwing tantrums while snacking at chilled grapes. Ha ha ha, that brother of mine is a fool. Wouldn't things end early if I just uploaded this video live streams? Said Xia Ying to his system. But host, just destroying the protagonist show's reputation isn't enough, as the protagonist Gong will definitely help him delete the video you've posted. But in my former world no one was able to fight through the cyber world much more than this retrograde little star technology. Anyway, things wouldn't be fun if it ended so early. Let's play for a bit more. Replied Xia Ying as he changes one of the monitors to open an invitation to the audition of Scarlet Heaven as the main character. EXE, give me a beautifying pill. The highest rank from them all. Please wait for a moment. Here it is, a high-tier 3rd rank beautifying pill. Upon intake, the user will become a heavenly beauty that matches no one in the mortal world. Cannot give host a higher grade as host's spirit is weak. Anything higher than 3rd grade will cause side effects. Host can still retrieve 2 more items from the system mall for this world. If I don't use all the chances of taking things from the mall in this world, could that be added for the next world? Asked Xia Ying, who is playing with the white pill on his palm that looks like an exquisite pearl which his system gave to him. If that is what the host wishes to do, then the executioner could agree at that. Upon hearing that answer from his system, Xia Ying just smiled. Meanwhile, in the top entertainment company Empire, a group of people were kneeling in front of a man in a sharp and cold expression on his face as he was looking down on the people before him with a descending expression. Some of them were trembling as their emperor landed his eyes on them. They were truly frightened by the dark expression their master is giving them for failing the task they were given. Not even one was able to find information about him. The emperor of the empire asked. Stuttering in fear, why? Yes, we couldn't find anything about Xia Ying. Not even, on the internet, as if all information about this person disappeared without any trace. Emperor. This Xia Ying isn't an ordinary actor. No one is able to erase his traces online at this era unless. Unless what? Unless this person is a heavenly defying genius when it comes to technology and he can be considered God at this stage. Us mortals would never be able to defeat such God in his own domain. Please forgive us, Emperor. Leave. Upon receiving this order, everyone left the office as if they were given an amnesty for life. Only one remained in the room, and that was the Emperor of the Empire, Wang Tian. The little devil is not only highly talented in acting but a god of technology. That newly built company whose owner identity is unknown must also be yours. Wonderland, the mystical land where fairies live. Scarlet Heaven, movie title. Should I leave a few baits for this little devil to appear? After all, Horror Tales shooting is about to end. If I don't make reasons to meet me, he wouldn't see me. Murmured Wang Tian. That's where the invitation for audition of Scarlet Heaven's main character role is made. This is the same invitation Xia Ying received just now. Of course he didn't forget about Xia Yang and Lu Ziyan for the position of second male lead and male lead. Wang Tian knew that these two are his future wife's toys. He needed them there to make his wife happy. With a dangerous smile on his face, baby, now that I found you, you can only become mine. Muttered Wang Tian while looking out his office-tinted window. Ever since that day Wang Tian and Xia Ying finished that perfume advertisement, he has been monitoring him for the past few days and has been courting him by sending him flowers and gifts. Of course it was Secretary Yi who sent it personally, which is why Xia Ying accepted it, knowing it was him sending all those gifts and being calling him every day. Though they didn't meet face to face as the former is busy all the time, the relationship between the two had already become ambiguous. Moreover, Xia Ying was entertained as the man had been sending him flowers and sweet desserts instead of luxurious gifts, making him interested in what is wrong with this man's brain. He dubbed him as his stalker in his phone. On the last day of shooting Horror Tales, Wang Tian is hovering all around Xia Ying, who is even letting him hug him in front of everyone. Because of this, everyone in the circle already knew that the Emperor's beloved was none other than Xia Ying. Fei Lan is watching them with a pouting expression while beside her Hu Tian is trying his best to coax his wife. After all, they already knew that Wang Tian is serious towards Xia Ying and Xia Ying was interested in their cousin the same way, but since they are both busy they haven't gone on real dates to officiate their relationship. Moreover, Wang Tian is the entertainment industry's emperor. His empire is the largest company that leads within the industry, and he is also a well-known director that is well awarded as consecutive best director every year. No one in this field is able to move him, and anyone he doesn't like will disappear as he commands. So, he can be a highly sought person, and most people in that entertainment industry are afraid of him. In this field, just one word of him can make someone become a best actor or a useless trash. Which is why even if others don't welcome Xia Ying to be the emperor's love, they still couldn't do anything to him. Wang Tian happily hugging Xia Ying, baby, when I'm not busy anymore, let's go on dates. I don't want to. After this, we might not meet anymore. Replies Xia Ying. No. Baby might be a bit wrong there. Said Wang Tian while giving Xia Ying a big smile. Once the Horror Tales came out in the cinemas, it didn't take a while for the watchers to spread the news of Wang Tian and Xia Ying's CP being fully shown in this movie. Hearing about this, many netizens came running to the cinema just to watch the movie. Once they'd finished watching the movie, people who watched it gave them endless praises, saying that even if the couple they support is not the main one in the movie, their love is still everlasting as before. It only took days for the movie to enter blockbusters. Xia Ying's name became famous enough to become someone's household name. The pairing between him and Wang Tian is extremely famous because they were being called as the imperial couple online. Once Xia Ying's name was cleared, he started showing his real acting talent that is even unparalleled for the current film emperor. He became so famous that his name almost matched Wang Tian's top search online. Within those 3 months, except for continuing receiving gifts from Wang Tian, he continues to do his jobs. After that advertisement and horror tales were aired, Xia Ying becomes one of the artists that's in demand. He did some more short films and even did a series which made him even more famous. One could say that Xia Ying could even match Lu Ziyan's former clean reputation. Of course his name is always attached to Wang Tian's name thanks to that fool controlling the information from the shadows. He let him do whatever he wanted. But after not seeing him for 3 months he missed him a lot. They can always see each other on video calls every day, but it is still different when they see each other face to face. The last time they see each other is during the last shoot of Horror Tales. Once Xia Ying remembers about the audition for Scarlet Heaven, he knew he could meet Wang Tian there. According to the information his system gave him, Wang Tian will be the director for that movie, though it seems that the movie won't be a happy ending for him, as the one his husband chose as the male lead is none other than Lu Ziyan. He knew what this fool was thinking. He wanted to let him play with the protagonists to his heart's content. He happily accepted it. I miss you. But you dare to ignore my call. I'm gonna ignore you. HMP. Murmured Xia Ying as he looked at the monitor before him. Xia Ying was watching Wang Tian busying himself with work with the help of his system. When he called just now, he saw him grab his phone fast from the table but didn't accept his call. When he saw him smirking, he knew this fool wanted to make him angry on purpose. Chapter 9. 1.8 First small star, bullied Xia Ying. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 3 months later. Audition venue for Scarlet Heaven. Xia Ying had long arrived in that place. Beside him the film emperor, Lu Ziyan, is seating with him surrounded by few more actors that were invited for the movie, Scarlet Heaven. Only for the main lead position, Lu Ziyan had been chosen unconditionally and was only summoned for the finalization of the actor sets after the audition for the main character, second male lead and supporting actors. At the moment Lu Ziyan's gaze never fell on his little son after what happened months ago. Ever since that day, he had seen his little Moon cry like that. He couldn't help but wonder if the things he did before wronged that little Moon to such an extent that he broke all ties with him. It's been a few months since he last saw Xia Ying. This person even moved out of their place and his location is unknown. Then Lu Ziyan saw the advertisement of the perfume Everlasting, which he made with Wang Tian. He was stunned when he first watched it. The Xia Ying in that video is so beautiful. At first he still looked like he is before, a cold and cool beauty. Always calm as if he is unmoved by anything. Until the scenes where he watched as Xia Ying in that short video slowly showed more and more emotions on his face as he fell in love with Wang Tian. That cute blush that almost made him as red as a ripe apple. That shy but vibrant voice when he loudly scolded Wang Tian when he thought he was a pervert. That small sweet smile when he first received a cosmos flower. That pouting face when he received teasing smiles from his classmates when he asked who was giving him flowers. That mischievous smile when he lured Wang Tian over for a kiss, and that passionate gaze when they got married. Everything of those is something he never knew. After all, the Xia Ying in his memories is always gloomy. He is always sad, lonely, and in pain. Thinking about this, he knew that the reason for this is because of him. He gives him his body but never his heart. He treated him as a thing but never treasured him. Until Xia Ying finally got tired of him and then left him that night when they broke up, cutting all ties and connection to him. He could still remember that day when tears fell from those majestic, phoenix-shaped silvery orbs with the same shade as the color of the moon. Which is why when he heard that Xia Ying was chosen as a candidate for the main character, he didn't think twice and accepted the position as male lead without thinking, and even forgotten that the main director of this film is none other than the Emperor. Noticing that his lover is ignoring his presence made Xia Yang a bit irritated but didn't show it on his face. 3 months ago, even before Xia Ying and Lu Ziyun had broken up in that hotel room, Lu Ziyun had finally attained his by Yue Guang, Xia Yang as his. This is also the reason why he told Xia Ying to meet him that night. Since his supposed beloved had finally accepted him, Lu Ziyun decided to throw away his substitute lover, Xia Ying. Then that event happened, and now the current truth is what is happening right now. Lu Ziyun and Xia Ying are longed over. Xia Yang is his lover. Xia Ying becomes his new by Yue Guang. Yun.Gij, it's been a while since we saw each other. Do you wish to have lunch after this? Asked cheerfully Xia Yang with a bright smile on his face. A frown suddenly appeared on the film Emperor's face as he saw the youth's usual bright smile, but his heart didn't skip a beat which normally would. His heartbeat was still normal but not that usual fleeting nice feeling and an unease one. They have been lovers for 3 months. Which is why despite making Xia Ying cry that night, he asked one of the assistant directors that is a huge fan of his to withhold the news of what happened that night. The news of that night didn't spread as he expected, but when he saw that Xia Ying's name was being pulled in mud because of them, Lu Ziyun couldn't help but feel even guiltier. The ache in him was so much that he even forgot to treat his lover, Xia Yang, with usual love and instead tried to get away from him. His dreams were haunted by Xia Ying. His smiles and his tears. It was like an endless nightmare for him. At the same time it aroused his desires to see him. He looked for him everywhere, but his information was heavily protected. Even his new address is considered highly confidential when he asks his company. Xia Ying's agent, Wen Lin, treats him like a plague and avoids him. The whole HR department of the empire ignores him when he asks about Xia Ying. Even his agent was almost fired for asking information about Xia Ying in the company. Lu Ziyun lost all connection he had with Xia Ying. The assistant director and his minions who helped him keep the news of that night were all fired at the same time. They say it was the orders from above. Xia Ying's reputation was cleaned after the news of that night came out. While his and Xia Yang's reputation got extremely dirty, he tried to clean it up and even asked the company, but no one was willing to help them. All those that used to help him disappeared in the company one by one. The others avoided him except for professional duties. He spent a lot of money just to clean up his and Xia Yang's name. Only after taking a vacation for 3 months waiting for the netizens to forget about their scandal that he started accepting jobs once again. Scarlet Heaven happened to be his first job after his long rest. Seeing his lover speaking to him in his daze, "I will think about it," nonchalantly replied Lu Ziyun as he once again returned his gaze to the entrance of the hall as if waiting for someone else to come. It was at that moment that a commotion took place because someone arrived in the venue who garnered everyone's eyes without any other reason except for his heavenly defying beauty. His body line and curve as if God personally sculpted it. White, smooth skin like silk which looks as soft as marshmallow, his light blonde hair glitters in the light as if he was backed by the holy aura. As if an angel descended, the venue was even more silent than night. It was Xia Ying who took the beautifying pill and became a heavenly fairy that descended in the mortal world. Even the film Emperor was stunned like an idiot as he suddenly stood up from his chair with wide eyes as he stared at Xia Ying in disbelief. Even Xia Yang was looking at his twin brother with disbelief. He knows his brother's appearance well. He is a cool beauty whose presence is akin to being surrounded with ice. He is not like the one before him, flawlessly gorgeous figure with delicate and captivating features as if being in his presence is a blasphemy. He can only grit his teeth in silence with immense envy as he stares at his elder twin brother, especially after seeing the film Emperor's reaction upon his arrival. Isn't that Xia Ying? Damn, he is really beautiful. He is usually a cool beauty and unapproachable, before he still looks like a mortal, but now, no matter how you look, he is. Isn't that a fairy? Why would he be here in this mortal realm? Fuck. I heard the rumors that he is gay and used to go out with the film Emperor. But why is he becoming more beautiful after the breakup? God is really unfair. The film Emperor, Lu Ziyan, who calmed down for a moment, tried to call for Xia Ying. Why Inger? He calls out as if he were calling his beloved, but Xia Ying just looked at him for a split moment before averting his eyes and walking towards an open seat, ignoring his presence. Xia Ying's reaction portrays only one thing. What ends is a done deal. Upon seeing Xia Ying's reaction when he called him, Lu Ziyun gave himself a bitter smile and returned to his seat like nothing happened, but his eyes, like everyone else inside the room, couldn't help but wander towards the corner where the fairy seated. But there is turmoil within his chest, as if he wanted to pull over that little fairy in his embrace, wanting to show his love and care while endlessly pampering him, but he knew that he no longer had any right, as whatever it is that is between the two of them had ended by his own actions. Abruptly, another loud murmur echoes in the room, but most of the main players ignore such things until the director and company judges enter the room themselves. Once the group entered, most of the judges showed shocked expressions on their faces when they spotted Xia Ying by the corner, falling in a state of allure as if they were hypnotized. It was only when they heard someone cough behind them that brought them back to reality, especially if the one who just coughs is their very own emperor, Wang Tian. Go start the audition for the protagonist and second male lead. After that, a meeting. Wang Tian ordered as he walked towards his seat, but didn't forget to give a smile to Xia Ying's way. Xia Ying, on the other hand, ignored him for being so busy that he even forgot to call him last night. Wang Tian smiled helplessly when he saw he got ignored. The audition begins just like that. The first one to begin is for the position of second male lead, the protagonist's little brother. A bright character who is an embodiment of cheerfulness and honesty, which in the end fall on Xia Ying's hands. He gave his elder brother a proud expression when he got the position he was invited for, but when he looked at his elder twin brother, he saw him playing with his phone, ignoring the whole process of audition for second male lead, as he was not included in that group. Humph. If he is not called just now for the second male lead position, then he must be invited for a supporting character position. So, what if you're beautiful, you are still lower than me? Xia Ying's thoughts as he stares at Xia Ying as if looking down on him. Xia Yang thought that his expression was hidden to others, but among them they are few who saw his smugness when he got his position as second lead. The film Emperor frowned when he saw Xia Yang show such an unlikable expression, while his eyes continued to wonder at that fairy in his own wonderland. Lu Ziyun undeniably thought the same thing as Xia Yang. After all, Xia Ying's reputation is in tatters because of him, and couldn't help but feel regretful. But as if something hit their faces, Xia Ying's name was called when the audition for protagonist started, and unexpectedly Xia Ying's name was the first one to be called. Xia Ying, Act Scenes 3 and 13. The one who ordered is unexpectedly Wang Tian, whose eyes never left this person's visage since the beginning. Xia Ying stood up and answered, yes. But even before he can show his acting, he could hear a loud exclamation from the crowd. It was someone he expected to do so, as always. Upon hearing his brother's name called for the position of protagonist, Xia Yang stood up in disbelief. No way! Shouted Xia Yang. All eyes landed on him when he said that. Moreover, since he stood up from his seat, he became the center of attraction. The judges all frowned when they saw him react like that. Everyone couldn't help but peek at Wang Tian's expression to see if the emperor is angry. Do you have a problem, Xia Yang? Wang Tian asked, but his sharp eyes landed on Xia Yang's being, making the latter shudder from unconscious horror. That, TT. Stuttering Xia Yang could only lower his head. A stern voice ordered, look up. I didn't allow you to lower your head. Give me an answer for causing such commotion in my movie audition, Xia Yang. Commanded Wang Tian as the aura around him became overwhelming, making Xia Ying and others inside the room feel as if they were being cooked on their seats. Only Xia Ying gave out a small smile as if entertained. In due fear Xia Yang could only answer honestly, I was only surprised by that. Brother was invited to be a candidate for the main C. character position, replied Xia Yang as each word became softer and lower as he spoke, but he didn't dare to look down as he was ordered not to. Wang Tian, who heard his reason, couldn't help but raise his brows in amazement. Everyone else couldn't help but look at Xia Yang as if he is an idiot. Even the film emperor couldn't stop himself from pulling the lad to stop talking with a frown on his face. Ho, and why is that you're surprised to see your brother enter this audition? Didn't you know that only his invitation came from me? Are you saying that I, this emperor, am blind? Asked Wang Tian with antagonism in his eyes. Xia Yang started to tremble in fear while others were shocked and they heard that it was the emperor who sent the invitation to Xia Ying. Don't you know what kind of protagonist I'm looking for? A heavenly beauty of an angel with a cold and unreadable expression but with darkness emitting within his heart. A little devil. Explained Wang Tian. The corner of Xia Ying's mouth couldn't help but twitch when he heard Wang Tian's explanation of the protagonist's profile. His angelic fairy-like face couldn't help but turn dark for a moment. Wang Tian, who saw his changes in expression, can only smile and tried to bully him more to force him to show his real personality. He wanted to tease him because he got ignored just now. Only someone with an innocent face but an evil personality can become my protagonist. Are you saying Xia Ying doesn't fit those criteria? Said Wang Tian. Everyone continues to observe Xia Ying's distorting face as they listen to Wang Tian's nonsense. After all, everyone in the upper circle knew that Wang Tian and Xia Ying were already in an ambiguous relationship. This kind of scene is like the emperor teasing his love for his attention. No one is blind enough not to notice that Xia Ying intentionally ignored the emperor just now when he smiled at him. They watch the two bickers playfully and taunt each other for attention. On their minds only one thought is shared. Ah! Young love. It was when Xia Ying couldn't help it anymore that he walked towards Wang Tian and grabbed his collar, which shocked everyone. They've witnessed their little innocent fairy turned into a demon before them. Who the hell are you calling little devil? Said Xia Ying as he reached the peak of his discontent. Glaring at Wang Tian with no fear on his face at all. On the other hand, they watch that overbearing demon king laugh as he watches the darkening face of Xia Ying. Chuckling, Wang Tian, your mask broke, my little devil, said with a sly smile on his face. Pissed off, shut up, you stalker. Bullying me now, humph. I'm leaving. Replied Xia Ying, who walked towards the door without any hesitation. Upon seeing Xia Ying puffing cheeks in anger, Wang Tian couldn't help but laugh, ha ha ha, so cute. He's the best. To think about his temperament as well. Ha ha ha, you can end the audition. My wife will be the one playing the protagonist role. Well, if you are worried, go get some temporary actor for now. Sire, are you sure? I mean he seems angry. One of the judges asked. No. He is only angry because I intentionally didn't give him a good night call last night. He's just pouting. The rest is in your hand. I still need to coax my wife. Wang Tian said before leaving. As he left a group of stunned people in the venue, but he doesn't care at all. There was an endless silence left behind him.